Are you ready, boys? Are you ready? Ikatauzu. Ikatauzu. Zambia. Pole pole. Pole pole Zambia. Pole pole. Ikatauzu. Ikatauzu. Pole pole Zambia. Pole pole.
Flava FM, Coppola's most loved radio station. Good evening to you, and welcome to the Flava FM football show. Plenty happening as usual in the studio this evening. We've got lots to talk about. I know one issue which we are going to touch is the 2012 heroes. Were they paid or they were not paid? And we look at some of those burning issues. We look at the fantastic Manchester United who bounced back yesterday, back to winning ways after 3 straight draws. Vatembo now his BP has gone down. His BP is okay now. With the winning of Manchester United. Good evening, Alderman Patrick Tembo. How are you today?
Good evening, Abbas. Good evening, our dear listeners and viewers.
Yes.
Well, I'm extremely elated. Manu at least did something we've been waiting for.
You had a very good weekend, eh?
Yeah.
Nkana.
So then Nkana win.
And at least Man United won yesterday. Congratulations to PSG as well for that win over. I've never seen. Okay, though we'll talk about it. Real Madrid going somewhere to force a draw.
Yes, to defend.
Imagine.
The first time in football.
90 minutes defending, no shot on goal. PSG. So Real Madrid, and then their friends 19 shots. I was like, is this the same Real Madrid?
Strategy.
Danny, if you are listening, holla.
Danny is depressed.
It's a strategy.
Danny is depressed.
Danny is depressed. How are you, Arthur, today?
Oh, bless my brother.
Yeah. Liverpool full squad again.
Yeah, solid. Though I'm happy that there's that Luis boy. Is that Luis?
Yeah.
The new boy.
Yes.
He's going to give people competition because he's got pace.
Yes.
Once he just starts scoring, he's going to give people a lot of pressure.
He's going to give people a lot of pressure. You think?
He's an indirect replacement for money.
Yeah, I've noticed
They are
if they are going to phase someone out, I think it's going to be Mane. But Firmino, I think, will still be there first.
Yeah, Firmino is an engine. He's a silent partner.
Yeah.
For me, people don't understand about one thing they don't really focus on or understand about Liverpool. Firmino is the main guy.
Yeah.
It can be Salah, it can be Sergio, but Firmino is a silent guy in that team. He's critical.
Patrick Charlie, good evening.
Good evening.
Liverpool,
He's even come in the Liverpool jersey, hiding behind the jacket.
When they lose, he brings a different t-shirt.
When they lose, he wears Zambia.
Zambia, it's okay.
I may call these happy days.
Yes.
For teams that are doing well, I think they are rejoicing. For teams that are failing to perform, it's time to regroup.
Yes.
And for the farmers, I think it's been raining for the past 2 days. Others may say it's over flooding. Others are saying it's not too good for their crops. But for football, other teams are saying these are happy days.
Yeah. All right. So, messages are coming in very many, very quickly. But let me see how I can try and get rid of some of them. Let me start with this one. gentlemen. Good evening, soccer gurus, powerful power dynamos. Abayelo. Yes, yes, yes. And believe me, we are back in the game. Too bad for Red Arrows. Simba deserved it. Kingsley Wembia from Kwacha. Thank you, Kingsley. There's one which I saw here. Interesting. Good evening. I want to talk about Juju. Juju is real. And it is used in many ways. Sometimes it is used on the referees to influence the game without knowing. Teams use it mostly on how matches. No wonder some teams are strong at home, but away, I think he meant home matches there. But away games, not so strong. But mostly, Juju is used by footballers not to win cups, but to have a successful career individually. Ken Micah in Solwezi.
Ken Micah, I won't even wait. Please.
Whatever, leave him alone.
Please.
Leave him alone. He's got his opinion.
Juju does not work. It has never worked in football. We're not saying it's not there. They use it, but it has not worked. There's been no scientific proof to show that
How can there be scientific proof
Juju
for
has
Juju?
worked in football. We have said it time and again. If Juju worked in football, we're going to have an African team winning World Cup one of these days.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Arthur, does Juju only work in Africa?
But does it work?
So because why is it that African players, the Juju doesn't work when you go
No,
there?
listen, pass.
African players, the Juju doesn't work at the World Cup.
There's a difference here. The problem that we have as African players is that tawaishi bowler. So you want to wanga kutira ko bowler.
Yeah.
How?
No, the simple question is,
Yeah,
does Juju work in football?
No, working he does.
Come on.
But not
Witchcraft and
because
sorcery.
we've heard stories of
No,
whole
but-
teams doing certain actions but still losing a match.
Look,
There's an element of there's a witchcraft and witchcraft. Is there in the Bible? Sorcery and witchcraft.
Yes,
there in the
yes.
Bible?
We are not
We know.
saying
We know.
those things are
We are
not
saying
used.
it's.
So
We
if
know
they are
it's
saying
there,
recorded,
they
but
work.
the influence in football.
the influence
If
in
they're
football.
recorded in the Bible,
Mm.
meaning they're real.
No, come on.
If they're real, meaning they can work.
No.
But
So, in
If-
other
if
words,
you're- if you're
let
standing
me
on a
not
path,
misquote
it's
you.
about your relationship with God at the end of the day as well. If your relationship with God is strong, it can't work against you.
So let me not misquote you. In other words, you're saying because it's there, we all know it's there. You're saying it's possible an African team can win the World Cup using Juju.
You know why they can't? It's sort collective. It's not everyone who believes in it.
No,
I think
but
that's
the-
not
but-
working.
No,
then.
the Juju must be all inclusive. If all the 30 players are even come for us, but that's not
No.
possible.
As-
Ask me,
Pius.
Pius.
Okay,
That's
now
maybe
yes,
that's
I
what
wanted to get Bachali's opinion as well.
I would say I concur with Alderman a bit, but the worst culprits in terms of Juju are the Brazilians.
And the
The
guys from
Amazon
Ghana.
Basin, they use Juju, but in terms of working, that is where I concur with Alderman. And also, Arthur has got a point. Others use it, but in terms of effectiveness, that is where we need to
Exactly.
find
That's the
proof.
point.
But listen, gentlemen.
Effectiveness
We
must
have done-
it must be all inclusive.
We did. There was a research which was done about the effect of. I'm not saying it's not there. We do see players. They use it, but does it work? If it does, why invest so much in very, very expensive players? If you can only spend a little on some Juju and you forget, but you need to make a budget and get very, very good players. You and I know how much Ronaldo costs. We have now Ronaldo has even been beaten.
So, in other
know?
words, in other words, sorry just to help you, Juju comes with hard work as well.
No. Juju does not work. Please.
No.
We are going to destroy the
Because
young
what I'm
football-
what
listen,
in-
this is a new
what-
generation.
what-
the young footballers who are coming now
Yes.
must be told that it's tactics, techniques, hard work, and investment which brings results. You know what? We're a new generation and we should be honest. if this so-called Juju worked, were pious, I'm telling you, we are going to have indifferent results. In Europe, it's Man City, Man U. What? And if you investigate, they are the ones who have the biggest budgets. It's not by accident. Get quality players, you get results. Okay? Let's go back to AFCON, the current, the one which has just passed. Senegal, even before kicking a ball, they were number 1 in Africa. They did not win it by accident. Okay? So it's the consistent. Look at the criteria of professionals that they have from big leagues. So please, let's not accommodate any iota of this nonsense that George works in football. No.
There's one, I read one article about 2 weeks ago. One Ghanaian player, I've just forgotten which one. He was
a problem in
he
Ghana.
was complaining.
They will never go play for Ghana again. He's just refused.
Yes, you saw that one. It was on BBC.
It was on BBC.
He complained that the too many people in the dressing room are using Juju.
Yeah. Even Ericsson, if you remember, was that Ericsson?
Was it Ericsson? No, it was. In fact, it was this same coach for Ghana when he did his first stint.
Yeah.
When he qualified them to 2010, he was saying,
"I'm not coming."
Too many of these players
and there is one
are using
team.
Juju.
One of
you get the
one
point.
of our local national team coaches who liked that. I can't talk about it, but there was one, and the players were complaining to us.
So you get my point, Pius, when it comes to inclusiveness. It's not easy to find 30 players or 28 players that are going to agree to use Juju. So that inclusiveness affects their plans. Most of them have got strong understanding and relationship with God. So there's nothing that is more powerful than God. Juju is there, yes, but
Kreplin Diata, we saw it all at Independence Stadium.
So it
became famous. Under 20, remember? When Under 20 won the cup, it was on cameras. He transferred it to the other chap, but we beat. That's where the ball racer came in.
So you get the point, Pass. At the end of the day, it works against you. That Juju thing.
It doesn't even work against you. Just doesn't work.
So all this thing of climbing over fences, entering the stadium, walking backwards.
Makes sense.
It will never stop. It's
Such things don't make sense. That's what I'm saying. As modern generation, let us bring a positive attitude towards that so that we can leave such things behind the bias. It just doesn't work.
Yeah,
there will always be people thinking whether we move even 100 years from today. There will be people believing in witchcraft. That's how human nature is. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But please to abapata. Bola ni kubombesha talent. Chapo. Timona dobo. Even smoking weed. There's no relationship between smoking weed and playing football. Ngodi kula wabaira walate abwino bola takwa.
Some believe that when they smoke they can do their performance will be enhanced.
Illusions.
Such are just illusions.
Let me read some more messages. Evening soccer analysts, let me congratulate my team, the Blues, for winning the club tournament. I'm Chirufiach Sanga, Pa St. Anthony. Congratulations also by Chelsea. Good win. This one says, on KCFC and PDFC, there is the latter cannot be losing to the former, who is even going down the CPC Northern Zone Division 3 team of 1977. They are taking things easy, so it seems. Coming to the Chipolopolo and the 2012 pledges, let's just let sleeping dogs lie due to the passage of time. This is GCY in Lusaka. Thank you for GCY. Good evening, Batembo. Juju is there, no doubt. Even Sejo Mane uses Juju. Good evening, panelists. Congratulations to you all. And you know football very much. You are talking what you know. But those who know nothing about football, they talk. They keep on telling you that you are against no. Please, Napapata, tell Numba to leave us in peace. This is the right time. We don't want experiments. Go where you belong. And this is George Mulambi, Zegamambo, Barcelona, Pakakolo in Kitwe. This weekend they are playing in Ghana. Numba, he can win it. Good evening. Is Nkana winning against Zesco on Saturday? And congrats to my team Chelsea for winning the World Cup, the Club World Cup. This is Chichi in Chemboland. This one says, good evening, soccer analyst. Please talk about the 2023 AFCON fixtures and the group which Zambia is in. I'm Emmanuel Kabinda, Pasolwezi, Man City supporter. Good evening, panel. I just want to know how Sunzu is performing at his club, and congratulations to Man City. If you have to talk about PSG win, not Man City win, I don't know why. We'll talk about it. Fanuel Manda Pakawama, Lundazi United, Zanaco, and Man City for life. This one says, good evening, football lovers. It's good to be back again. Coming to the issue of the AFCON 2012 money, the players were not paid the money they won, but were paid the money they received from other parties who were supporting Zambia. Coming to Power Dynamos, we need to change the EXCO next season because we can't win the league with average players. From Ben Blazer, Power Dynamos supporter, and Chelsea. This one says, good evening, panelists. Congratulations to my team in Ghana. Bad news to our neighbors. Mr. Charlie, you are a good analyst. I think you know me. We were together at Nkana Stadium. This is Maron Kapindula from Usakile. Then Juju doesn't work. No wonder ama goalkeepers fail. Ukuikata ama bola. Umulanda wakumona if you wamugo mulandu. Oh, so mulandu wakumona if you wamugo. IK Pamaposa. Thank you for IK. Waiting for you wise men out there. I'm Ignatius Kawama, Liverpool diehard fan. Pamaposa substation Tulibonse Pakaritente. Then good evening, football family. When will Alan Kamwanga Jr. start playing for Power? Batembo, who is the highest paid player in the MTN Super League and the richest club per Zegamambo if into we are Liverpool in Klopp we trust KB. Actually, I came across something interesting with regards to disclosure. I learned, I didn't know it before, even though, you know, we get all these figures from the UK, Spain, how much players are being paid, how much the transfer fees are. Apparently, if your club, for example, is listed on the stock exchange, you have to disclose. It's mandatory. For example, like Manchester United, if they buy Arthur Luando today, they'll disclose we bought Arthur Luando from CEC Madalas, and he cost us $10,000, and they'll have to disclose. There's no hiding, and we're going to pay him £50,000 per week. So I think I'm assuming with those rules it must be uniform worldwide, and with Zambia it's up to teams whether they want to disclose or they don't want to disclose. Yeah, since we are not listed,
we are not listed there.
So
I'm aware of that.
So it's difficult to you might know behind the scenes, but disclosing is another issue. So
in fact, it's the opposite here.
Yes.
According to labor laws, you can't disclose unless one of the owner, an employee wants to do that. But you can't disclose.
There was that situation. I think maybe in Spain. Maybe in Spain, past is slightly different, because this defender Piqué. He actually
yes,
posted
Gerard Piqué.
Gerard Piqué. Actually, there's a rumor that he's they are spending too much money on him.
So
he was forced to not really forced.
So he forced. He actually decided to disclose how much is actually being paid.
Individual now.
Yeah.
And so he put his critics to shame. So,
but like here in Zambia,
maybe the UK is slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good evening, football gurus. I want to greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus. And I'm praying that may the Almighty grant you more years to your life.
Amen.
That, or that one I receive. I'm sure we all receive in
Amen.
Jesus'
Amen.
name. Amen. But Pius, Awe, for me, it's been a good week. Seeing Nkana winning and Manchester United bouncing back to winning ways after a long time. Too bad to our ladies.
Winning ways, you win one game and you're calling it ways.
We have bounced back.
How?
We are back. We
Yeah,
are
yeah,
winning. We
listen.
won yesterday.
No, listen, pass. After 3 draws, meaning you didn't win for 3 games in 3 games, huh? Winning ways will only be qualified after you win 3 games in a row to cancel.
No,
the-
that is your
when you win,
definition.
it's
As
winning
we have
ways,
bounced
they are
back.
back.
Just say you're back.
We've discovered
Yeah.
that as
Just-
long as you discovered how to win.
Say you're
again.
back. Don't say winning ways.
No,
winning
it's
ways will
winning
only be
ways.
qualified
Even if you
after.
win one game.
No.
So
If
let
you
me
have
finish.
come from
So
a
he
period
says
where you
too,
have not been winning and you win. It's
too
winning
bad
ways.
to our ladies, the Copper Queens, for the draw. But all hope is not lost, more especially that we did not concede. Lastly, Bapias and Mr. Tembo Awe, I will not get tired of singing this song till I get my things. Now listen, gentlemen. I'm waiting for Manchester United and Nkana jerseys. Okay? All the best to Nkana and Man United this weekend. And not forgetting our neighbors Santos. Okay, this is Santos. Thank you. I've noted your number and Vatembo.
Yeah.
What-
Is the song?
He must keep singing.
Continue being, yes,
Yeah,
keep
he
singing.
must keep singing.
The
For how many years?
The Bible says,
No,
"Pray without
we have
ceasing."
fulfilled in the past. I mean, it's
Now,
always been.
no. With it, we are.
I think pass.
I'll keep saying.
I think pass. What we need to do is, when you are free, and all of us are probably, if we can actually attach a bit of time to this, we visit Power Dynamos and we visit Nkana, and so we just collect some
Solicit
jerseys
for-
to solicit for some. I don't think we can fail to get 10 jerseys off Nkana and 10 jerseys off Power Dynamos. I think my good friend Mr. Flava there, the CEO, I think it was
Wow, there people are listening.
yeah, we know we can. That is something
So
we
you're
can do.
creating more
Yeah,
hope.
Yes.
and Mr.
So,
Silomba kunkana kulia ndo akalamba beso they now what it's they know it's a noble cause, and in fact what we'll be doing is the point of collection will not be here when we solicit for those jerseys. The point of collection is kunkana, so they have that personal interaction with their fans na then.
Okay.
So pass,
on
it's-
that one,
Something
we'll
we can
discuss.
try.
Though,
Yeah.
though there's something else which I'm working on,
Yeah.
which is going to be almost around the same thing.
Yeah.
But when it happens, at least we'll
That is
see,
something that is
who we
that
can
is
make
about-
happy.
It's
That-
it's
but
doable.
I don't want to
Preempt.
start preempting and
Yeah, no,
getting
don't
people
preempt
excited
yet. Even me,
until it works.
Yeah, even me, I
Yes.
was working on something else,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
You only
but
preempt
that is
when it
that's
works.
my suggestion is a bit quicker and easier. I think we can easily get something. Over.
Yeah.
Yours is long term.
As Zesco United supporters, we are not happy with the number. Please, panel, Zega Mambo has been reduced to an average team by the same man, Numba. Posapo Zesco United is a big team. Look at the players and the new bus we have bought. This is Masao Zega Pa Bulangidilo Kitwe.
Raskida.
This is, I think, at the moment,
That's too personal.
this is the only team where they are in the top 3,
And people still complain.
The people have been actually
They
the
say,
fans
"At
have
Nangwaka win
been
a league."
hampering the
At
coach
even if he wins the
from the
league.
beginning of the season.
But even if he wins the league, we're still fine.
Okay, let me just read a few more. Good evening, soccer gurus. I want the panel to explain what happened in the 2012 after the AFCON victory. Explain on the prize money. Where does it go? Then explain on the allowances. Vatembo, please explain on this issue. From John Liu, Kitwe Parklands and Zesco United. This one, and I forgot to mention, we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube. Apart from us broadcasting on 87.7 on the Copperbelt, 96.9 in Lusaka, and 92.1 in Solwezi. So do take a note of that, and you can either hear us or see us. or both. Good evening, soccer gurus. I'm impressed with Inchanga versus Muflira, as if it was in the Super League. And Tonka Twende, the Kawale boys, was also great. Zambian league is growing. The weekend was great. As an Arsenal Gunners, as my Arsenal Gunners were rested. This is Nyambe Kamitondo from Solwezi. Before I go any further, Charlie.
Yeah.
Quick question. We had an argument last week in the studio, and the gentleman spoke last week, so they are not speaking today. The only one speaking.
Forever be quiet.
Okay.
Do you find the Zambian league competitive? There was an argument that it's not very, very competitive. Arthur gave an example. Power Dynamos, they draw for 3 games, and then dropping 6 points. Then they come back and win 1 game, and they're automatically boosted into top 4, meaning the other teams are not pulling their weight. And then Alderman came back with a different argument to say no, actually, because of the difficulty on moving,
Yes.
it shows that the league is actually a competitive league, and it's not easy for anyone to just pull away from the others. Your view?
My view, I would sum it up in a different way. I would certainly say that the league is competitive, and there are so many talking points when you are talking about the structure of our league. One, I would talk mostly on the recruitment part on these teams. Some teams have had so many recycled players changing camp, and then there are teams. I would give you an example of Green Eagles. They have been very, very careful on which players they add to their list, and that is how come they have now become very hard to beat. And then there are other teams who are just fishing from the same pond, making the league seem as if it's not very, very competitive. But in a nutshell, the league is very, very competitive for the teams who are getting it right in terms of recruitment. I would give you one typical example, Power Dynamos. They got Brian Mwila as their main striker, who's not come to the party as yet. They are struggling a little bit. I'll talk about Nkana FC. They got Obashi from Prison Leopards. He has not yet gelled, failing to actually grind the desired type of play. Green Eagles, they got Emmanuel Mwaba from Konkola Blades. They got Ernest Mbewe from Zanaco. And I think they are setting the pace. The league is very competitive, but the recruitment aspect is very, very key to these teams. Chambishi, they are wallowing at the basement. Konkola Blades is one typical example. They didn't recruit players that should have taken them further. One other team I need to give credit to is Kafiwe Celtic, who got the youngsters, brought them up together. They are playing attractive football. It's a pity that they have started off slightly late, but you can see the way Kafiwe Celtic is gelling. I hope that more teams can actually follow that route. Recruitment, that is what will make these other teams stand out in our league.
Okay. Vatembo, there's a message for you here.
Yes, please.
It says, Vatembo, please tell Tuzesco Nkana is coming.
I've also received it this way.
We have Tuzesco.
Mind the games.
Tema 4-0 both Power and Nkana, they suffer at the hands of Zesco. So
It depends on when you're talking about it, because last time Zesco lost at home to Nkana.
now tables have slightly changed. So all the best. But Nkana are not playing good football lately.
But they're getting results.
Original Nkana ile. 3 points.
Mhm.
So it's not about the playing good football, it's about getting the 3 points.
Last week on TV3, we watched Kaisa versus Young Green Eagles. The referee from Nkamfinsa was excellent. Best quality of Janice Kwazwe. I think is the best replacement. He just needed more game time. Faz should build this referee to replace the old people in the Super League. We have a new Janice Kazwe in Kamfinsa. My name is Katebe. Very good referee, no doubt. I'm giving Faz a good advice. Let them order all the teams from Division 4 to the Super League to buy cameras and start filming their games like Jumulo was doing in Division 1 and 2, so that they start watching their games and see their mistakes, also the mistakes of the referee. From there, they can provide evidence in the form of clips to Faz than just saying the referee didn't officiate well. Kanshi, in the actual sense, maybe the referee was okay. Your thoughts? I'll start with you, Odaman.
Yeah, I think that's what.
But should it be a directive?
Not a directive. It's just a matter of policy. All the clubs should do that. How do they analyze their games? Because after the games, the first meeting should be analysis of the games. You see, the technical bench sit down with what we call a post-mortem. They spend quite a lot of time. What formations were they given? Was there discipline in the implementing of those formations? Where did they go wrong? It's not fact-finding mission, no. It's just a question of looking at how they can improve in the next game. So it's important. Now, whether that can work at a disciplinary committee, I don't know, because FAS needs an independent person to take those clips. You know, it depends on how it has been presented. But I don't think a club can take a clip as witness. It doesn't work like that, because
Video
some
evidence
incidents depends on where the angle where someone got it from, isn't it? Yeah. So, but for the sake of tactical improvement and analysis, yes, that is okay. It's long overdue after all.
Okay, but Charlie?
Yeah, footage is very, very important for clubs. It does help. I know clubs may talk about it being slightly expensive for them, but it is important to track what you have been doing, to actually see and go through the footage, and at times where there's a dispute, you can have that as evidence in case of, and then you can even refer that to players in terms of tactics. You can tell them that here you were supposed to create space. It does help actually. Footage, very, very important, but teams need to invest in such equipment.
Arthur?
Yeah, as a matter of policy, Pius, it's critical that they go that route. Of course, the issue of evidence tomorrow is a minus. It's a rather a minor in the whole thing. It's more to do with postmortem, to help with postmortem and looking at the technical ability and the mistakes that you're making. It will benefit the team more technically than even to use it as video evidence against referee or whatever. So I think going forward it's quite beneficial for the team.
I know,
and it will help the referees. I mean, the coaches a lot actually.
I know I'd already spoken, but also to add to that one, Pius, for record keeping. That's why our colleagues are able to tell how many times Pius has featured for this club. You know, they have proper records. But in our case, even
they
just keep these.
Even when you want to sell a player, you can just use that.
Yes.
To market your players. So the advantages for clubs actually they're immense. You can use that to market your players.
Yeah. All right. So other messages before we're just about to start. This one says, hopefully you all listened to the comments of the Napster Stars coach. He accused referees of being bribed. He also accused the Musa of bribing referees. He should provide evidence to the nation, and Faz, if he fails, let him be punished heavily. At 15 games and 30,000 kwacha, why do Zambian coaches fail to accept defeat? I watched Nchanga Rangers versus Muflira Wanderers on Saturday, per TV. The game was nicely, beautifully, handsomely officiated, but Muflira Wanderers officials were busy complaining to the linesman and the fourth official, blaming the center referee while their players were busy kicking opponents and driving and diving. I think you meant trying to dive. Okay. This one we'll handle it later.
I analyzed that game, so we shall talk about it.
We'll handle it later. So just keep listening. Let me just read two more. But Arthur, I'm asking for a Zambia soccer jersey. I'm William Pamuflera. Okay.
I can share the old one. I've got two. The orange one.
Good evening, panelists. This is George Mulambi Pakakolo. Please, gentlemen, tell Vanumba to pack his things and go back where he belongs. Zesco United FC is too big for him.
I think Nkana must beat them, so we'll see how they're going to react. Yeah.
Okay.
You think he can pack with the new bus coming? He has even seen it.
This one says Nkana FC has no team at the moment to get 3 points at Estadio de Levi. Nkana won't know what will hit them. KK11 Pachimwemwe up Zega. Juju in football doesn't work at all. Otherwise, African teams would have been winning the World Cup.
Correct.
This is Richard in Kitwe.
Good one, Richard.
Good evening, panel. I think Power Dynamos needed Jesse Were, not that guy Brian. He is full of comedy. We need goals, not comedy. This is Alex Hamwata from Zamtan. Evening, all panelists. I just want to congratulate the young man Nyambe Edmond, KDFA referee, for officiating perfect in a Nadi Mwenapa Mogadishu. Intrigued FC versus Diamond on Sunday. Imagine officiating 100%. Coach Moses from Ndeke. Do something, Mr. Tembo. Call her. He's given the number here.
The number. Okay, will give me the number.
Okay. Okay, let me just read these. This was one of the best teams at Nkana in the late 80s and the early 90s. Dick Shonga, Modern Malitoli, Kapambwe Mulenga, Wiseman Chizumira. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Alec Chuva, Jericho Shinde, Gibin Basela, Gordon Kazika, Kelvin Mutale, Kenneth Malitoli, Godfrey Muselepete. Best 11 for Nkana. Mr. Tembo, tell them. Evening panelists. My bad for my team power. Congrats, Kuba Kubitu.
Lost your tongue.
Yes, I've lost it. I hit a roadblock, though it's from Stephen Senga, aka Zaka Abayelo Pachamboli. And then this one says, okay, last one. Good evening, football lovers. You talked about Juju. Why did Mighty refuse to enter Nchanga Stadium using a bus? Instead, they walked anyway. Only God knows. Congratulations, Avared, for defeating the Oil Men. This is Crips Kabwe or Bashivupe in Mindolo. You see, these are some of the things. They do these antics to enter the stadium, but you still get hammered. You see?
So does it work? That's the question.
Exactly. Because whatever you're doing, if it's supposed to work, but they were beaten clean game.
It was not only that. We saw them pouring water from the bottle on the pitch and on the path which they used. Such things will never give you results.
Yeah.
We saw it. I was there on Saturday. We are going to talk about it
Sangoma.
later.
Instead of people doing these things, why aren't people carrying pastas? If you think people are using juju, there are many pastors.
Yes.
Eh? There's even our
Only
very
one
own Pastor Chris.
Eh.
Eh?
Just take the anointing, chapel.
Okay, gentlemen, let's kick off. Alderman, I know you have some lower league results. Maybe let me ask you to open for us.
Yes, please. I have some lower league results, but before that, we have to look at the friendly games which took place between the Northern Province and the Copper Belt Province. Now, as you may be aware, Papias, FAS has decentralized the running of football, and this is paying fruits now because the disputes are being attended to quickly, the leagues are being rearranged. There's efficiency now. And apart from that, the provinces that have initiative are bringing in innovations. I'll give you an example of Copper Belt Province. The chairman, Mr. Patrick Ndrovu, has been very committed, very innovative, and he did something which has never happened. I can't remember that happening in many years. There was a friendly which was organized. He organized the friendly games between Northern Province and the Copper Belt Province. So the Northern Province visited Copper Belt, and the friendly games on a Sunday. And the visitors were so happy that when they went back, they started strategizing so that they can invite their colleagues. This is how you expose talent. Huh? You'll be surprised to hear that Northern Province is not far after all when I give you the results, because it can also help the national team to pick good players for various levels of our teams there. So it was Women Select, Copper Belt Province 3 and Northern Province 2. You can imagine. One would have thought maybe the Copper Belt Province or the Women Select was going to roll over them, maybe 6-0. That is not the case. There is also football in Kasama and surrounding areas in Porokoso, Luingo, and so on.
Yeah.
So there was a select side for women from Northern Province, which played the Copper Belt Select side, and they played 2 games. First game, it was Copper Belt 3, Northern Province 2. The second game, it was 0-0. To me, this is what is interesting. To show that rural areas now and those in towns, there isn't much difference. There was also under 17 select Copper Belt Province 1, Northern Province 2. I have not made a mistake. I want to repeat. Under 17 select Copper Belt Province 1, Northern Province 2. The second game, it was a draw 1-1. Now, there was one important aspect to this. All the expenses for hosting of the visitors from Northern Province were handled by the Copper Belt Province through the initiative of the chairman. That's what we want. We want to bring people who are going to add value to football instead of looking at what you're going to get. So I want to commend the Copper Belt Province for this initiative. Unfortunately, you colleagues from the press, you were not even there to cover, the games. Bias, up your game.
Maybe they were not invited.
No, they were.
They must be informed.
A number were
No,
invited.
I checked here. We were not invited.
Is that so?
Yes.
So still talking about grassroots football, the district league, it was Chiruma 1, Mindolo Youth 2, Riuka Matipa New, PSA 1, Ajax Chims 2, Chiwote 2. Happy Stars nil, Ipsukilo 2. KSQs 1, Riverside Police 5. This was the East Zone. As for West Zone, MC Academy 2, Skills 1, Intrigue 1, Diamond 1. I think someone talked about this game. It was in Chamboli. Kakolo Stars 1, Real Luangwa nil. Sate 2, Kingsfield 1. I have an interest, I will repeat that one. Sate Academy 2, Kingsfield 1. Royal Tigers 4, Afro Stars 2. Then the rescheduled, it was Flash United 1, Zamtan 1. Then, of course, we moved to Central Province. This was first Division 1, Central Province Division 1. Kawa Rangers nil, Chindwin Centuries nil. Aquila Stars 2, Kawa Youth nil. Mines United 1, Zesco Kawe nil. Zesco Itej 1, Mumbwa Medics 2. Mumbwa Skills Rangers 1, Young Warriors nil. Young Raiders 1, Mumbwa United 1. Nangoma nil, Young Leopards nil. Tazara Express 3, Pubs nil. Fringilla nil, Prism 2. Then the Southern Province Division 1. This is how it panned out. Blue Stars 3, River Plates nil. Casco Rangers 1, Red Lions 1. Bats 2, Globe Turk 1. Monza United nil, Sinazongo United 1. Zesco Victoria Falls 3, Seed United 1. Mamba Energy nil, Young Musa nil. Young Pirates 1, Maramba Stars nil. Play It Forward 2, Kalomo Jettas nil. Chikankata Diggers 2, Eastland 2. These are the results we had for the lower ranks. Thank you very much.
For the lower ranks, so we can go straight into Eden University. Vachali, would you happen to have them before you?
Yes. Eden University Division 1 National League Week 23. Zesco Malite Rangers 3, Kito United 1. Nchanga Rangers 3, Mufira Wanderers 1. Trident 1, Jumulo nil. FC Musa 1, Napsa Stars nil. Livingstone Pirates nil, Police College 1. Luapula Green Eagles 1, City of Lusaka nil. Kawa Youth Soccer Academy nil, Young Green Eagles 2. Young Green Buffaloes nil, Gomes 1. Quattro Kalumbira nil, Lumwana Radiance 1.
Arthur, I kick off with you. Luapula Green Eagles 1, City of Lusaka 0.
City of Lusaka at the end of the day, for me, I've lost hope and I've given up on them. They're so disappointing. We were hoping by now they could be contending, So either everything about them is just wrong now. Their coaching, administration, probably players even, because there's no way they've got almost everything at their disposal, and they're still failing to improve. So it's quite sad. Because trust me, even at the beginning of the season, they are one of the teams that we were looking at least for City of Lusaka, who do something. Do you feel Bachari?
Very, very true.
It's
very,
for me,
true.
I'm quite saddened actually.
Pius, you
I
recall
agree with
last
us.
week I did warn that Luapula Green Eagles at home, you are not a pushover. And we had talked of Naps who had gone there and don't manage to pick a point. Other teams there have lost.
No,
I'm not surprised by that result because Luapula Green Eagles,
but generally,
when they are playing at home, and I had warned even last week that the best result City of Lusaka were going to get was a draw. Unfortunately, they couldn't come back.
Yeah.
yeah,
Perhaps
but generally, the City of Lusaka are just a
Yeah.
disappointment. But
Yeah, just to strengthen what Arthur is talking about, City of Lusaka. This is a side which basically had even a Muzungu, Vaseline, at the beginning of the season as their coach. And things were looking up. It's a pity that Vaseline, I think, was a little bit more theoretic in terms of the approach. Recruitment, one. They needed to recruit players with skill, speed, and strength. Proper players, but they kept on picking every Jim and Jack, roped into City of Lusaka, failing to compete. After Vaseline came Isaac Chancer as coach. The Wolves continued in terms of results. Now they have Albert Mpande from Kitwe United, a seasoned coach. So many players, some rejects from Kitwe United have joined the City, and things are not happening still. I agree with what Arthur said. City had a golden opportunity to bounce back, but I think they missed the point at the beginning for recruiting wrong players in the first place. So City, they will have to do it all over again next season. They are out of the picture in terms of being in contention. For Luapula, Alderman Tembo raised a very, very important point. They are a hard nut to crack at home. Luapula Green Eagles. I hope they can improve even on their travels. But it was a famous win for them beating City of Lusaka.
Okay. And Alderman Livingston Pirates losing at home. The draw masters, especially at home, losing to Police College.
I can assure you that
everyone beats Police College.
Everyone beats Police College. Now,
you see, there's no doubt that Livingston Pirates,
and they have lifted off the bottom of the table.
There's no doubt that Livingston Pirates underrated Police College. Because you see,
no matter how much you underrate them, you still beat them.
And it was the bottom of the table clash. One overtook, now the other one took over the other one's spot.
You see, that's what happens. But you see, we are seeing a Livingston Pirates side which has not come to the party this season. They started, they had a very good show last year. They finished around somewhere number 6. The whole city supported them. We don't know what could have happened. Now they are wallowing in relegation zone. They have not brought in new players, but the council has continued supporting them. They are able to fulfill fixtures. I saw even their bus. I don't know what's going on. They lost their coach recently. And there's a caretaker coach, a very small boy. So I don't know if he even commands respect in the dressing room. So quite a lot will have to be done to salvage that team now. Perhaps games are getting fewer and fewer, and it's tricky. Yeah, if they will be losing at home, where at least they've been getting a point, and they are known to be bad travelers, there can only be one direction, and that is applying for Provincial Division 1.
Downgrading.
Now, Vachali, Trident versus Jumulo.
Trident versus
and Trident. Trident, every now and again they state their intentions. This weekend they blew hot against Jumulo, who has been somewhat up and down as well in their performances.
This is a side, I think, Trident, which has gone through not a very good patch. They were drawing games. They should have been picking points. But this win for them beating Jumulo, it came, I think, at the right time. A well-sponsored team, Trident. We expect them to mount a challenge, but because of the draws that they encountered along the way, I think their chances have waned a little bit. But for Jumulo again, think they have been blowing hot and cold. A team this week they would beat a formidable side. The other week they would lose. I think it's a wake-up call for Jumulo that there is only one way to the top, is by picking up points even on their travels.
Arthur, within 1 hour, Zesco Malaiti was leading 3-0 against Kitwe United, and then Kitwe United came and scored the consolation in the 80th minute. 3-1 the final score. Not good for Kitwe United against a team who are in the relegation zone,
Yeah,
isn't it?
the team they don't even need the 3 points. So it's
They need it.
No,
they want to
don't.
come out
No.
of relegation.
No way, it's pious.
They need
They-
it.
they-
That's
they-
why
they
they're
win.
competing in the
No
first
way,
place.
it's pious. Listen, they win last weekend. It's going to take them another 5 weeks to win another game. You get my point? So that 3 points is just a waste of
It's the waste.
yeah.
No, they want to come out.
How?
Eh?
The next
Kylie, they are 2 points out of.
The next,
2
the
points.
next game they're going to win past is 5 games from now.
Look at the fixtures.
So,
first.
unless they're saying that the miracles have started happening again. So wait and see.
All the
They're just spoiling.
Young Green Eagles 0, Gomes 1. As
Yeah.
I continue highlighting
Hey, Gomes
the informed team
in the country.
in,
That is
in the Indian
no,
University.
just in the country. Period.
Gomes.
You see,
Eh?
their
4
form-
wins, 2 draws in the last 6 games.
I think their form is better than was Barrows even.
Yes, now it's better than
Yes.
the Arrows.
Well, obviously, like you pointed out last week, Gomes enjoying very good form, and we said that you see, with the competition that is there in the National League, no one can write them off. They are candidates to one of the 4 slots, the Super League.
Yeah, 2 points off top
Yeah,
4.
2 points off top 4.
Mm.
Where were they in the first round? They were wallowing in the mid-table and somewhere almost being relegated. So that's what it means. But I think it's not a good strategy to start slow and then start waking up in the second round. A good team should start with a bang and remain consistent. And also, it's not good to start with a bang and then you start going down like what we are seeing with the naps and so on. So, congratulations to Gomes, but it's too early. They need to keep the foot on the pedal because obviously the destination is the Super League. You need to grab one of the 4 slots.
All right, and these I'll just quickly go through them myself before we tackle the 2 big games which were there over the weekend. Quattro Kalumbila 0 and Lumwana 1. I think it was the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
Lumwana are
The
trying
Mavanga
to
Derby.
keep their momentum going. Yes, the Mavanga Derby, and the goal, it would have ended 0-0. 89th minute.
Yeah, it was via a corner.
Yes.
I'm told, yeah.
So Lumwana managing to topple their town mates there. Kaisa as well, losing at home to Young Green Eagles. Again, as I think it was you, other man, who mentioned last week, Young Green Eagles looking to still come back.
Yes.
Not an easy team to beat, but 2-0, a very convincing result at Kaisa. Let me start with you as well. From Njanga Rangers 3, Mufulira Wanderers 1. Mufulira Wanderers gaining momentum the last few weeks. Last week I dubbed them, apart from Red Arrows, they had the best form in the country. Finally, they suffered the same fate as Red Arrows.
Yeah, but what is bad about that result pass is it's a 3-1. You can lose 2-1 or 1-0. That's okay, almost. But 3-1 means they were totally and completely outplayed.
Yeah.
That is not very good. That is not-
Half-time 3-0.
yeah, that is not very good for football players.
Yeah.
You must, if you want to win promotion or gain something in football, even your losses must be meaningful. Not like quite a good lose. It must be a well fought loss. Not where 3-0 at halftime is very, very serious. meaning they still have serious problems going forward. For me, that was a very big game for Changa Rangers, yes. But if you look at form, current form, my team, Flava Wanderers, has got better form than in Changa Rangers. So that game was supposed to be much tougher, more tougher for Rangers than it was for Mighty. So for me, that result worries me a little bit about Mighty's form. I hope they will recover quickly from that loss.
Oderman, you covered this game.
Yes, Pius, if you didn't watch that game, I tell you, you would think Changa Rangers had a walk in the park. That scoreline is harsh. That scoreline did not depict what happened on the pitch. And this was, I think, the best game so far that I've watched in Division 1. It was at Super League level. There was maturity. The two teams knew what they were doing. It was fast. I tell you, this was a very exciting game. I want to agree with one of your the SMSs we received. And the young man, the referee, I've already reported this to the chairman. He came to the party. Even his assistants were very good. That's what we want. You know, this was a big game, and he came to the party. Now, talking about the game, Matthias, the first 20 minutes, it was Flava Wanderers who dominated. They
2 goals in 20 minutes,
took the
18th and
game
20th minute.
The first 15 minutes or so, it was on Flava Wanderers. They even hit the crossbar. But Changa Rangers they really wanted the goals. You remember they had come from a 2-0 bashing in Northwestern Province, and I would moved slightly away from the top 4. And it was tricky because both teams had 31 points. They were they both had a goal difference of 6. And
yes, I remember that.
Both teams,
same goal difference.
Yeah, and both teams
same point.
Yeah, and both teams were 3 points away from the top 4. You can imagine. Flava Wanderers came with the 10 rosters of their supporters, and it was one of the biggest crowds I've seen there. And I was happy. I was saying, hey, here's Zambian football now coming back. So the first 15 minutes, it was Flava Wanderers. They dominated. They hit the crossbar. But again, Flava Wanderers have one serious problem. I've watched their last 3 games now. They are doing all the creating of chances, but the cutting edge in the final, the cutting edge in the final third is 0. That's what cost them even there. Changa Rangers were direct. Their top striker, Christian Saire, was all over them now. The defense, unfortunately, Bernard Mapiri, their veteran defender, is injured. I think this was the 3rd game he was missing. There was no maturity in Flava Wanderers' defense. They lacked leadership, and Changa Rangers capitalized on that. But second half, it was home Flava Wanderers again, and that's how they pulled one back. If you look at possession, it was a seesaw situation. I think 3-1 was slightly harsh from Flava Wanderers. But hey, congratulations to Changa Rangers. They deserved it. They still have everything to fight for from Flava Wanderers. They're at home this week.
All right. So in Vachali, anything you want to note, or immediately can I give you to comment on Muza 1 Napsa nil?
Yeah.
That's a big one.
This is a game where all eyes were centered on this game. Others may say Masauso was up against Perry, his long-term friend, but there it was serious business. Te Havana. Napsa Stars of late, I think they've been passing through a bad patch in terms of results. And people expected Napsa to rebound, but they were up against Muza, and Masauso Tembo with Muza came to the party. This game was separated by a solitary goal, which sank Napsa Stars and temporarily shot Muza to the summit of the table. But I think it's a big dent on the part of NAPSA. The coach complained about the tactics, whatever happened. I didn't watch that game, but whatever it is, Perry is now being deemed as a complainant. He keeps on complaining each time they lose. Perry has done that before, where at one point he was blaming the pitch. You know, the pitch is bumpy. The other time he gives a certain excuse. Let them just regroup and look forward to the subsequent games that are coming up. But for Musa, real football, I think they'll get it in the MTN Super League. It's a good move for Musa, but it's not yet over until it is over.
Yeah, before Arthur comes in, you see, Perry has coached a big team, Power Dynamos. He was at Forest Rangers. He's growing in pedigree as a coach, and one would have expected him to grow even in the other areas. But I'm afraid, like Charlie said, he's a bad loser. You know, you have to be magnanimous in defeat as a coach. That's when people will tell that you are mature. You need to get some level of maturity. When NAPSA was on top and he was winning, there was no bribery of referees. Now that he starts losing, he starts blaming referees. I think that's not fair. And I think that the FA should take an interest. It's all over the social media. You cannot deny.
Yes, it's all over social media.
Is there. There's an insinuation that if the games are being fixed, which is a very serious allegation. He must be told. He must be challenged to prove that. You know, he must be challenged to prove that, because people lose confidence. People will lose confidence in our system. He just lost to a good team. That's what we said even here. There was no way they could have beaten Musa at home. We analyzed. We know what goes on. There was just no way NAPSA, with their current form, we are going to pick maximum points. You know, he has to ask.
They were coming off 2 draws and a loss, and they were going to play the number 2 in the league.
You can imagine. He has to ask Lumana, who had to labor for a point from that side. So Perry must learn to be magnanimous in defeat, and must learn to accept that the other team was better. You know, and that's when you gain respect. You can't say that to your colleague. You know, they were together for a long time. They were together at Forest. They were together at Power Dynamos. Now you start giving such allegations. It means you are already ruining the friendship which is there. Football is supposed to bring people together. You know, what will Masa also say now? Because this accusation is going to the whole club, which means if they are bribing,
we knew what we were going to expect there.
It's not good. Just not on. Football should not be like that. Learn to lose, learn to win, learn to draw, and accept whatever result comes. And the fans must move in quickly, so that this is the others who are just dreaming of talking. One point. NAPSA, this is the third time I'm saying now. NAPSA must not think they are going to be promoted because they were in the Super League, because they have they have very good sponsorship. It's about churning out results. They have the tendency of underrating other teams. I've watched them. I've watched NAPSA. They played the kit with them. You see, they think that they are already getting it. They're getting it. So to them, they had already won the league. They didn't know teams like Musa and Romana were working quietly in the background. That's what you should do. Invest instead of investing in quality players. They bring tired legs. Kalume.
I was even coming to that.
Sidney Kalume. What do you get from such players? Are you serious? Because in the National League, there is speed, Bwana. There's endurance.
And if anything, Alderman, the best athletes are the young ones.
Yes.
You start bringing in Sidney Kalume,
Eh?
who's in the twilight of his football
his
career. NAPSA stars. They should have picked up a younger player
Yes.
with a lot of momentum. You see, but it's the other.
And there are
the
not
other
only
way
those two, there are 3 other Madalas. in that team.
Madalas.
You see, so congratulations to Musa. They should just ignore.
Keith Mwemba, the proprietor.
They should just ignore what the bad rules I was talking about.
Anything to say, Arthur, before we move on?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit different. Pass. So sometimes they say there's no smoke without fire. That issue about Musa Yama referee, that's the second time I'm hearing it. No?
You know, here we should
no,
not be
Pius,
dwelling on
no,
rumors,
no.
you know?
Listen, we're not talking about rumors. What we're saying is the Jumulo complained as well. I watched that game. I was there physically. They complained about the referee, the Musa trying to get favors from referees. I'm not saying what Perry said is the truth or what Jumulo said is the truth, but even that side that must be looked into as well, because there's an element of fair play at the end of the day, just in case it's true. So in as much as we're trying to condemn the assertions or the sentiments coming from other clubs, we must not take it with kids' gloves. We must look at it seriously, just in case it's happening.
When a team loses, they will start crying.
No, in as much as they cry, Bakalamba.
So,
in as
you
much
see,
as they cry.
what
If the cries are true?
Now, we must not be dwelling on it. We must not be dwelling on
it's not about not
rumors.
dwelling. In
We have
football,
seen Musa winning away
in football.
and home. You see,
Yes, that's what we're saying.
look what Musa.
The cries about Musa, Edman, this is my flow. The cries about Musa were at Jumulo's home ground.
I watched that game. We
Yes.
covered it on TV.
Yes. So-
Jumulo lost his hands down. We covered that
So
on TV.
what we're saying, Edman, I'm on the one on the floor. In as much as Musa is playing very well, when someone is accusing, you must listen to both sides. It's very critical that just in case it's true. If it's not true, you punish like Perry. If Perry has got no proof or evidence against that, he must be punished. But just in case he's got evidence, let him prove. If he cannot prove, but we must not take lightly when certain things are said. That's why when you go to public media like what Perry did, I hope he's got evidence against that. Yeah.
Okay.
But you see, also as we were winding up, I would have loved Perry to start
20
crying.
seconds,
When you remember, NAPSA was on top. The 7-8 weeks, they're on top. How are they going to feel if other teams are going to say NAPSA are buying it? I think this is unfortunate. They are lacking sportsmanship. They are failing to learn to accept the results. NAPSA were on top of the league 8 weeks. And we were all thinking they are now running away with it. But there it was. They are now started speaking indifferent results. And this was the first game they are losing. They had failed to win in the other 2 games, isn't it? They have been losing at home. Those teams
Actually,
had to beat them.
NAPSA last one, they were 2 wins, then 2 draws, now 2 losses.
2 losses. Are all those buying referees?
But
He just lost to his teacher,
the other
to
losses,
his pupil.
he never complained about refereeing. You get my point? So you understand the dynamics.
Coaches complain.
Yeah,
And you know, this is a coach who complained about pitch after losing to Prison Leopards. This is a coach who blamed Bazo after losing to Nkana. Should we start investigating every now and then? We know who he is. He's just a bad loser.
Okay.
And since in public office, we are offering free advice. Let him learn to be magnanimous in defeat.
Okay. Let's move on with fixtures. Zesco Malaiti versus Trident. Lumwana versus Jumulo this weekend. Kitwe United versus Luapula Green Eagles. Muflira Wanderers versus Quattro Kalumbila. City of Lusaka versus Young Green Buffaloes. Police College versus Nchanga Rangers. Gomes versus FC Musa. Young Green Eagles versus Livingston Pirates. And NAPSA versus Kaisa. Starting with you, Bachali,
Yeah.
Which fixture has caught your eye this weekend?
The fixture that has caught my eye is Goms versus Musa FC. Why do I say so? Goms, this is a side which has got twins in their ranks. They have got two twins who are playing attractive football. The Acid Boys. They are coming up against FC Musa. And I can assure you, this game, very, very hard to predict. Even as I look at you pass, it's difficult to predict this game. It may go either way.
Ottoman, what has caught your eye this weekend?
It's Lumwana Jumulo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This is a very exciting game indeed. Jumulo are coming from a loss. They are now going to face a team which wants to run away with it. It's exciting. This may start pointing to which team now will occupy the top 4. Yeah, this will be a very exciting game.
Arthur?
Musa Gomes. That's the game to watch.
That's the game to
Yeah,
watch?
because after because if you look at Musa, home or away, they're able to win, and Gomes have got current form. They're the best when it comes to current form. So it's like we're playing the two best teams. For me, right now, these are the two best teams in the university.
Yeah, form-wise, they are the two best teams in Eden University. Apart from yes, they are.
No, they are.
They are.
There is also local Davy there. Lusaka, City of Lusaka and Young Green.
Apart from Flare One, the
exciting.
City of Lusaka, Young Green Buffaloes. Yeah.
Napsa are playing which team? So that the coach
Napsa,
can
Kaisa.
Yes.
I think for Napsa, it's a time to pick up points. If
No doubt about
they missed it against Police College, so this one they need to maximize. Sorry, Kaisa, but this one they need to maximize to get points. If Young Green Eagles can go to Kaisa and get 2-0, if Kaisa come to your home, you have to do the business. And same thing, I think it will be the same call also goes to Nchanga Rangers. Nchanga Rangers, in order to get, they've got 1 point. They are 1 point off top 4.
Off the top 4.
If they want to be serious and get into the top 4, because it looks like top 4 there will be casualties this week.
I tell you, in and
So,
out.
because Lumwana Jumulo, you don't know what's going to happen. And also same thing with Musa Gomes. They are all the teams are playing difficult games, maybe except Napsa. And Trident as well are going to Zesco Malaiti, who are coming off a win, which might motivate them to win again. So same thing with Nchanga Rangers. If Police College, they have to maximize points, even though they are going to Police College, but they have to
But if you remember,
maximize
I think Police College beat Nchanga Rangers at home.
Nchanga Rangers are playing.
Police College.
Oh, it's tricky.
Police College hammered Nchanga Rangers at home.
But this time,
yeah, so this is a tricky fixture for Rangers as well.
The psychological.
Psychological, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I heard, but
So moving into the next stage of what we are doing, quickly we move into the Super League and look at what happened over the weekend. Well, Oderman, perhaps you can run us down Super League results.
sure. Here is how the results panned out. It was Prison Leopards 0, Zanaco 0. Green Buffaloes 3, Chambish 0. Kafio Celtic 1, Power Dynamos 0. Nkana 1, Indeni 0. Konkola Blades 0. Cow Warriors 2. Kansanshi Dynamos 2. Zesco United 0. Green Eagles 2. Red Arrows 0. Forest Rangers 1. Nkwazi 0. and Buildcon 3, Lusaka Dynamos 1.
Okay. So, looking at, let me start with you, Arthur. Jesse Jackson Were scoring a brace against his former team, and Zesco losing to Kansanshi.
That's what's so
Was it? What's your view? Is this a game Zesco should have gone and won?
No, this is what about Jesse Were. He wanted to prove to them that okay, now Lipwa, but I've still got a couple of goals in my bag, and that was very, very embarrassing for Zesco. So I think player management as well is a critical component in. We're suffering a lot of poor administration across the country. The Zambian football right now is suffering more to do with more against actually administrators than coaches. Coaches for nothing. The biggest problem is administrator, because trust me, if he's take what he did like Yahweh, a brace is not luck. Yeah, he still has that. He still has the potential to regain his.
No, he's a goal scorer.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the third goal. Isn't it 3 goals in 3 games now?
Yeah,
for Kansanshi. Yeah.
But
So,
look, Pass, it's not all about Jesse Were. Kansanshi want to survive. They have invested in good players. Marvin Jerry and the others have gone to reinforce that team. They now have a very good, they have a balanced team. It's about investment, and it's about being serious.
yeah.
They use the January window very, very well. It's a different
and
Kansanshi
I think
side.
there's intent in this result.
No doubt
because
about
you've beaten the number 2 in the
And
country.
remember, this was the
So-
second win they were recording.
Yeah.
One would have thought maybe the first one was a fluke. This was the second win in a row, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Nkana versus Indeni. Let me give Charlie.
He was Nkana
Nkana had to rebound after stuttering against Chambishi, and they were playing without, of course, their influential striker Bazo, who's still nursing an injury and has started light training. But it was good that Diamond Chikwekwe
Came to the party.
came to the party, captain of the side. They played not very convincing, but a win is a win. They had to grind this result from virtually nothing. Indeni offered a lot of resistance in this game, but they had to be one winner, and in Nkana FC, the team perhaps with the largest following in the country, a bit of relief for them.
Konkola Blades, Alderman, nil. Cabo Warriors, 2. Very good result for Cabo Warriors, though Konkola Blades haven't had the best of forms.
Well, I was very disappointed by Konkola Blades because they put up a good fight and were almost picking maximum points the other week against Red Arrows. And one would have thought that
Yes, that would
one would
motivate
have thought
them.
they were going to
Yeah.
replicate. And you see, it's difficult to collect points Kuka window as Konkola Blades of late is called. Now, I think they became a bit overconfident also, and they did not respect Cow Warriors because, they were saying, oh no, at home we don't lose, and we nearly beat Red Arrows. They underrated Cow Warriors. Cow Warriors is very experienced. It's a good side. It's balanced. They are focused. You remember they represented us in continental football the other. They want
Yes.
to get back there. So, 2-0 was a surprise result for me because Power Dynamos have failed to beat them. They Nkana have failed. Zesco, they have failed to pick maximum points at Konkola Stadium. It has been difficult. But to hear that Warriors went there and just picked maximum points, walk in the park, it was something else. Now, that result gives a lot of doubts as to whether Konkola will mount a fight to survive relegation bias. Because he should have started with the Red Arrows game going forward. The games are getting fewer and fewer, And when you play a game, it's history. You won't repeat that, and you won't get anything. So, mathematically they are still possible for them to survive, but I don't think the results are suggesting anything in that direction.
Arthur, GBFC are back.
Not
They are back.
They are big.
Nyanta, nyanta.
They are big.
They are big.
They are stepping on others, like the Buffaloes do. They stepped on Chambeshi this weekend. 3-0 straight.
No, that gave even 5. I stopped watching at 3-0. I was hoping by the time I review those results, you have kind of 5-0. That was declaration of intent that we are back. I hope they are here to stay.
You think it's not a one-off, or it's possible it can be a resurrection?
No, listen. That is how it's supposed to be when you're playing a lower-ranked side. It must show. Yeah. So that for me it gives me a lot of hope and positive thoughts towards the future.
Yeah, but we're pious.
So at the end of the day, Buffalo is a big side. They just had a very bad day at the office for a couple of weeks.
10 weeks.
10 weeks. I don't know what really hit them. Because, when they're winning those games, it was not a fluke. That's one thing you must know. Those were not flukes if you're a bowler.
Yeah, but Chambeshi...
Something just bad happened within the camp. I think they were probably having internal problems. The clubs have been going to Chambeshi and they failed to win. But 3-0 for me, beating them 1 or 2 is okay. But when you beat a team 3-0 pass, meaning you're at another level. So I'm hoping and praying that the next game will show the almost equal.
I watched this game, Papas. I was very disappointed by Chambeshi. They were all over the place. They couldn't offer resistance. Arthur is right. It could have been 5-0. Having picked maximum points against Nkana, one would have thought they are going to be motivated and try to put up resistance. Although they were away, playing a team which had not won in 10 games, surely one would have expected, with the morale they had after beating Ghana, to put up some resistance and maybe try to get a draw. But it wasn't the case. And now, what are the prospects of survival from relegation? They are getting dim. Just like Onkolo.
And still talking about Buffaloes, I think they did some work behind the scenes. They removed the 2 assistants. Peter Mutale and the other coach brought in Katongo Felix. Okay, and
yes.
This has actually changed the whole complexion. But for Chambeshi, Israel Mwanza, and of course Kaunda Simonda, I think there are days in the Super League. It's just a matter of time now. They'll be heading back into the Eden University,
where they belong.
And
but Charlie, mathematically, they have only 4 points from survival. Don't you think they can put up a big fight?
Yeah, but the fight has to be now. They have to show it.
Games are becoming fewer.
How many times how many teams have they beaten?
How many games have
they've
we
only
got?
beaten
11 games.
It's 11.
Yes,
11 for Chambeshi.
Now, which other teams have they beaten apart from Nkana? This is a Chambeshi side which has been at 6s and 7s.
Police college.
They have 5 wins and 2 of them are Nkana.
Can you imagine? Back to back.
So, if they have to survive, they have to show character now.
Yeah. All right. Charlie.
Yeah.
Kafia Celtic, Albert Kangwanda disappointing my team Power Dynamos with that 1-0 for Kafia Celtic.
I'll still talk about a few points that I had raised earlier on in terms of recruitment. This is a side which has young talent in terms of Kafia Celtic. They are beginning to show their might now. It's not too late for them, but they are playing wonderful football. More especially Kangwanda. Excellent player, how I wish they had pushed in one or two experienced players just to guide the young ones, more especially in the second half. Even the goal Kangwanda scored, the goalkeeper for Power made what they call a poster where he was just
He was found taking photos.
took a glance. He took a glance at that goal. One of the best goals
You
I've
didn't even
watched.
see it coming.
But for Power Dynamos, I think they didn't play a coordinated game. Defensively, they have been leaking in goals. I don't know, could be maybe the absence of their defense kingpin, Makubuli. White Mwanambaba has not been very confident in defense. So Power Dynamos, I think, even their Brian Muller, the much talked about accusation of Brian Muller is not bearing fruit. I hope that the other players can rise to the occasion. Many people want to see Power Dynamos back in contention, back in the Confederations Cup, or better still, in the Champions League. This is a side which is well sponsored, but of late they have been blowing hot and cold. But credit must go to Kafue Celtic. They played all the football.
More especially that they had to play with 10 men
Yes.
from 52nd minute. Power couldn't take advantage of it.
Buildcon Alderman, looks like they've had a small resurgence. Or can we say
Who doesn't beat
who
Lusaka?
doesn't beat Lusaka
Who doesn't
Dynamos?
beat Lusaka Dynamos?
But
They
you
even
know,
confessed.
credits to Buildcon. You know, Buildcon have been from the beginning of the season, they have been between number 3 and number 8.
Yes.
All the time.
It's a yo-yo team. They blow hot and cold. Yeah,
Find them
but
blowing
they
hot
lack
Now
the
they are
consistency.
number 6.
Now they are number 6. But the next game, they will lose again and will find themselves in.
Oh, beautiful.
So it's very tricky. But anyway, this is a game they were expected to win. They were home. They were playing against Lusaka Dynamo's side, which had surprised the soccer pundits by winning 3-1 after a long time. The other
Beating
other-
Forest.
beating Forest.
People needed to get it. People needed to
Yeah,
get paid
but
bias.
quite a lot is happening at Lusaka Dynamos. Unfortunately, they are headed to the Eden University. It seems the applications has already been accepted.
Okay. Very, very quickly, Arthur Forest 1, Nkwazi 0.
Another confusing side bias. Nkwazi. This moment you feel okay, but we're Nkwazi. Then
Just like last week.
yeah,
Mm.
they're so confusing. No one. So this minute they're playing very well. The next moment you actually forget about them. But what's that?
Very, very true, dear. I
So
agree with you.
I think supporting Nkwazi is
you have to have a
is
bit-
like supporting Man United,
Yeah.
where today you don't even know what the result is going to end.
I'm telling you, because Nkwazi can lose to any team, and the same Nkwazi can beat any team again. They can beat Zesco, they can beat Arrows, they can beat any team, and again footy, the same team. Only wants footy.
But still on Forest Rangers, they have got one excellent midfielder in Paul, the South African.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's,
yes.
he's a marvel to
He's
watch.
a marvel to watch.
He's a very
Paul.
good player.
He's
that
the one
guy.
who created even the goal which they scored. Beat 3 defenders with one move. 3 defenders were lost with one
I
move.
don't know why South Africa
Paul.
don't call
I
their
remember-
national team.
Yes. Mm.
If
Maybe there's an age
if the
factor.
South African national team is serious, this is one player they should have
No, he's
considered.
Very,
brilliant.
very, very
Yes.
good
He's
player.
a very good
I
player.
remember the first time I saw him play against Nkana. Yeah, Nkana was at 6s and 7. Confused. Anyway, Green Eagles 2 and Red Arrows 0. Finally.
Well-
Does this result surprise you?
No.
It does
Doesn't.
not.
I mean,
surprise anyone.
No.
does it?
No.
Because Green Eagles are a difficult team
And
to
they're a
beat
big
at
side.
home.
We just
Yeah.
forgot about
And apart from that, they have a reputation now. They are the ones who are breaking records. They finished Buffalo's unbeaten run, and then they finished the unbeaten run for Arrows, which had run to 17 weeks. I wasn't surprised because I watched the game, Papias. Green Eagles.
So
really wanted
we
the
can
result.
say that juju which worked on Buffaloes, it might work again. 10 games, no win.
Hey, you see, 10 games, no win. No, Green Buffaloes were a better side. Papias, there's no doubt.
Green
They
Eagles.
Green Eagles.
Sorry,
yes.
Green Eagles, they showed the hunger. They were determined to collect maximum points. In fact, the first 15 minutes, they were a bit careless. They should have actually come up with some goals in the first 15 minutes. But they were a bit in a hurry and missed clear-cut chances. Well, Red Arrows tried to respond after 30 minutes, but it was late. I think Warren Kunda came to the party. He led the defense well. He brought in a lot of value, actually. So, all in all, I think we should accept that Green Eagles were a better team on the day.
Very quickly, pass.
Yes.
Let me talk about Red Arrow's netminder in Charles Kalumba. He had a very terrible day. He actually had butter hands, spilling those 2 goals. He in fact gifted Green Eagles with those 2 goals because of his judgmental aspect. Charles Kalumba, on loan from Prison Leopards, roped into Red Arrows. He had a fine run, but that day against Green Eagles developed butter hands.
Yeah, but there was very little you could do with the first game. I mean, the first goal. Because it awkwardly bounced just.
Should have
Very
followed
few-
where
Very
the
few
bounce was
goalkeepers
coming
actually deal with
Follow the
that.
bounce.
from. Yeah, should have followed the bounce.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Follow the
When
bounce.
they were expecting the ball to change direction.
yeah.
You
I don't know whether they were
Yeah,
expecting
bounce.
the ball to change direction, you know? It's
Yeah.
Malunga conceded a similar
Same.
goal against Young Green Eagles.
Young Green Eagles.
Yes, should have
Those-
followed
those
the
balls
bounce.
are very tricky. Because sometimes you want to follow, you won't know the direction.
But following is better.
Yes, you follow the
Following is
before
the
it
better
bounces.
You follow and then raise your hands.
Yes, that's a better tactic.
So just to wind up, we can quickly just rush through the fixtures of coming up this weekend. We have Lusaka Dynamos versus Power Dynamos, and I'll be very upset on this one. It's the same
Yeah, same.
theory which I'm using for
It's an early kickoff is 13 hours.
13 hours.
for yes for the Gomes and
Moza.
the police college and all those analogies that you must go and maximize on these
Yeah.
teams that are limping. So Power Dynamos, you must come back with 3 points. Lusaka Dynamos versus Power Dynamos. Red Arrows versus Prison Leopards. That's Friday. Then Saturday we have Kansanshi Dynamos versus Kafue Celtic. Zesco United versus Nkana FC. Nkwazi versus Buildcon. Indeni versus Green Buffaloes. Chambeshi versus Konkola Blades. Cabo Warriors versus Green Eagles. Starting with you, Arthur. What catches your eye? Naturally.
Chambeshi and Konkola.
Oh, the Chambeshi Konkola.
The battle of the relegation.
Who maintains the number 2 position from Punch?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for it. Na iko side, yeah.
Yeah.
And
This game is in Chambisha.
It will be in Chambeshi.
Chambeshi.
Yeah, very tricky.
It's a must-win game for Chambeshi, because if they lose it, then they'll permanently confirm themselves as bottom.
Yeah. If they win it, there'll be hope.
A lot, like you said,
There'll
the
be
four
a lot of
points.
there'll be a lot of hope. Yeah. Okay. Especially that the team just above them in Deni, though they play well at home, but they'll be hosting a GBFC who will be unpredictable. You don't know
Yeah, right.
how they are going to come. But GBFC, are they going to be very motivated?
No, but after the three goals pass, that 3-0 win comes with a lot of motivation. It's a 2-0, 1-0 is not too bad, but 3 passes is a
Well,
bang.
Charlie, what motivates you this weekend?
Zesco United
Watch.
up against Nkana FC. I want to know or find out the reaction from Zesco United after going down to Kansanshi. Alderman talked about how many buses in terms of supporters who travel to cheer Mfira Wonders. I hope Nkana supporters will go in numbers to go and cheer their team up against Zesco United. But it's the reaction from Zesco United that I'm concerned about after that defeat. Chitia Mususu, recruited from Zanaco. Kamsoko, also recruited from Zanaco. These players
And the tallest player in the league.
from is it South Sudan? I think the undoing for Zesco United has been in the goalkeeping department. Otieno at times has been there. The other times Sanjase, Gregory. Let them come up with a number one goalkeeper.
No, but their
for
number
Zesco
one keeper
United.
is
Otieno.
Otieno.
But
Yeah,
they have
when
been-
you don't see Otieno, then he has just been injured.
they have been posting indifferent results. I hope that this time around, the Nkana Zesco game, they will have reaction time. Numba Mamba is under fire. I hope that he can cement his position. Otherwise, it will be Maningi trouble for
Yeah,
Zesco
Mosby,
United.
you're right.
Alderman, what attracts you this weekend?
Well, what's attracting me this weekend is the Red Arrows game. They're playing which team?
Prison Leopards.
Prison Leopards. They are. Remember, they're just 4 points clear on top. Are they going to add the 3 more to try and run away with it? You saw the commander followed there. You know, everyone has belief now in the barracks that the cup is coming home. We're going to play
It's coming home.
So, will Prison Leopards spoil the party? I think that's $1 million question.
Yeah. I think one interesting fixture which will be there is the unpredictables. I would call them Nkwazi versus Build Code. You don't know. It can go anywhere.
Same boat. They're cousins.
They just languishing in the mid table.
Those are cousins.
They are cousins. Nkwazi
They may
Build
draw.
Code.
They may draw.
They may, yes, they may draw.
And the Kansanshi Dynamos Kafir Celtic game,
Yes.
it will be one interesting fixture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
because
is.
Kansanshi needs the 3 points more than Celtic does.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you mean? Celtic needs. Because
Actually, Celtic needs
Celtic
more.
are in relegation.
They are the
Oh,
ones
Celtic
who
are-
are
those are small boys,
top
man.
of the.
Those are small
Top of
boys.
relegation.
They want to
Kansanshi
play.
has those are small boys.
No,
You
they-
shouldn't focus
but
so much
Celtic,
on them.
Celtic-
the first 6 weeks, they were very strong in the top
They were in the
part
top
of the team.
4, yeah.
They were in the top
No,
4.
listen, it would be worse to see Kansanshi go down as opposed to Celtic.
You
get my
think?
Yes. Kansanshi has been around for a much longer time. And we've got more respect for them than the young boys. The young boys, they still need to
But
go back and
anyway,
work hard.
as at now, they are 3 points clear of relegation. But
That is Kansanshi.
Kansanshi. But you know how this magnetic pull,
Oh.
the way it works,
Oh.
when it pulls you in, that's becoming
and you
difficult
know,
to get out.
As per
you see,
Dynamo.
we call it gravity.
Ghana last year.
Papas, we call it gravity.
Yeah.
As you go, then the gravity pulls.
Yes, the gravity. Actually, yes. Power Dynamo in Ghana last year, they found it difficult to pull out, and Power almost pulled in there.
Yes.
Yeah, but
So
Ghana, we prayed
Ghana
for you
managed
last
to
year.
pull in then.
Prayer and fasting.
We said our neighbors, sure. But I loved the concern between fans. That,
Yeah.
No, it would be sad to see our
Yeah.
friends enroll in university, but it was at least ended well.
I mean, it won't be exciting. The Super League without Nkana, let's face it.
It has happened before.
Yes, exactly. So I think other interesting fixtures which we'll have to look out for is Cowboy Warriors versus Green Eagles, because
It's a big one.
Cowboy Warriors coming from a big win, big 3 points,
Even Eagles coming from a big win as well.
and the Eagles also coming from a big win.
They're coming from.
So Eagles,
they're coming from the
Eagles
same
are
margin.
carrying
wins,
momentum. They are the
2-0.
Yes, the Eagles are carrying good momentum in that if you look at form in the last 5 weeks, they've got the best form in the league, and they are the only team apart from Zanaco who have not won in the last 5 games in the top flight. But everybody has tasted defeat because Zanaco have had 5 draws in a row.
Yeah, Sanako.
But Eagles are the only ones who have they've won 3, drawn 2. Everybody else has got an L somewhere in their
Last 5 games.
in their last 5 games. Okay, so the table is looking like so. Konkola bottom with 18 points in 18 games, 17 position.
Like they've drawn all the 18 games.
Sorry, 18. Sorry, 18 points. 18 position.
Yeah. Like they've drawn all the games. 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1
Mm.
point.
17th position is Lusaka Dynamos, 19 points. 16 Chambeshi, 22 points. 15 Kafio Celtic, 25 points. 14 Indeni, 26 points. 13 Kansanshi, 28 points. 12 Prisons, 29 points. 11 Forest, 31 points. Now this is where it's close. 10 Zanaco, 31 points. 9 Cabo Warriors, 31 points. 8 Nkwazi, 32 points. 7 Power, 34 points. Buildcon 6, 35 points. 5 GBFC, 35 points. 4 Nkana, 36 points. 3 Zesco, 38 points. 2 Green Eagles, 39 points. And 1 Red Arrows, 43 points. So effectively, between position 11 and top 4, only 5 points.
It's just 5 points. I was looking at it this afternoon.
5 points separate number 4 and number 11.
You
very,
sink.
very tight.
You sink. If you don't swim, you sink.
Yes.
Finish.
Anyone
You
who
snooze, you are gone.
It's quite bad.
Yes. And Prison Leopards, who were in contention maybe 3 weeks ago, now they've slipped. Number 12, they're slipping lower, like a magnetic pull. But they can go back up if they
one
climb
win.
over Zanaco. If Cabo Warriors lose, if Nkwazi lose, automatically
Because
Prison Leopards
I see Cabo Warriors losing. Personally.
will move
Yeah.
up. Let's just reviewing the top scorers charts. Friday Samu still remains top scorer despite him going to Maritzburg United in South Africa. He started for Maritzburg United with a goal and assist. So he
was
started
man
off
of the
well, man of the match as well. Then he's still on 14 goals. Albert Kangwanda, Kafio Celtic, 10 goals. Jimmy Njovu, Cabo Warriors, 9 goals. Alex Ngonga, 9 goals. Nkana, Moses Piri, 8 goals. Or let me say the 8 goals, we have Moses Piri, Zanaco. Ricky Banda, Red Arrows. Hosea Silwimba, Green Eagles. 7, Godfrey Ngwenya, Power. 6, Luwinda Mundia, Buildcon. Derek Bulaya, Green Eagles. Conlide Luchanga, Prisons. Christopher Zulu, Nkwazi, and Martin Njovu, GBFC. And 5, we have Jesse Were, Kansanshi, and some of the goals from Zesco. Tapson Kaseba, Buildcon Konkola Blades, shared goals there. Johnny Chingandu, Zesco United. Clifford Mulenga, Forest. Kefas Handavu, Indeni. James Chamanga, 5. Red Arrows, and Thompson Chideu from Forest Rangers. He's I remember seeing his debut, and he's a good big striker. I was thinking he might be on 10 goals by now.
Pass, what happened to Conrad?
Conrad Luchanga.
Conrad, yeah, what happened to that dream?
He was
He's
effectively
doing well now.
No, he had a bigger dream.
He picked up form,
He had a
but
big-
he was in that stream of Benapatson.
Yes, he had a bigger dream than a person. Even he was more in the line. He was
Actually,
in the
at one time he was moving faster than Patson.
by far.
And even in national team, we preferred him
to
Patson
yeah.
at one time. But I'm not. When he went to Israel, I think that's where it went pear shaped, as they say. I'm not sure what he
happened
didn't. Places like Israel, Austria, Switzerland.
I think he lost form, yeah.
Those are supposed to be springboards, but if you don't springboard from there,
You're gone.
I think that yeah.
Because it was a promising talent, huh? On the Zambian markets. I mean, So it's sad that it doesn't even have any preference for national team anymore. It's completely forgotten.
Yeah.
Sad.
Okay. So quickly, I think before we head to other news, we had the
Champions League.
Copa Queens.
the
Copa
CAF
Queens.
Confederations Cup. Zanaco almost coming away with a draw from Egypt. So from CS Sfaxien, rather. So because they scored in the 96th minute with a penalty by CS Sfaxien in Tunisia. So it was CS Sfaxien 1, Zanaco 0. The other group match in that group was Pyramids 2 and Al Ali Tripoli 1. So this Sunday we have Zanaco hosting Pyramids of Egypt. And then we had international friendly from the ladies, Zambia 3, South Africa 0. That was Barbara Banda on the score sheet with Avwelch Tundu as well. I think maybe let me also, Alderman, before I pull you in to give us other news, let me just talk about our pros and how they did over the weekend. For Sekekune United, Tostan Sawata, he was in goal on Tuesday in a 1-0 away loss. Then Maritzburg United, there was Friday Samu. He scored and made an assist, like I already did state, and he was man of the match. And then in Tanzania, midfielder Rally Wadia, he played the opening 87 minutes for Simba FC on Sunday in a 3-1 home win against ASEC Mimosa of Cote d'Ivoire. Then Cletus Chama, he was cup-tied because of his move to Bereken, so he's unable to play this tournament. So South Africa, other people in South Africa, in Amazulu, Augustine Mlenga, he played 81 minutes for Amazulu. Sorry. And then, yes, against Raja Casablanca in the 1-0 away loss. And then Mamelodi Sundowns, Kennedy Mwene, he was on the bench for Sundowns in Al Hilal's match in the home win. And for Stellenbosch, Nathan Sinkala, he was an unused substitute in the home loss against Baroka. Then in the UK, Patson Daka, he played 60 minutes against Liverpool in the away loss, though the social media was buzzing about the comments of Van Dijk. He talked about the Patson and his speed.
Super fast.
And on Sunday, he played a full 90 minutes against West Ham. Gentlemen, just before we move away from the Patson issue, Patson, do you think he's not firing on all cylinders? Is it system, or is he still adapting to English football and whatnot? What are your thoughts?
Let me start, Pius. I think we are unfair to the young man. We're expecting too much.
Are we? Yes, or are we over expectant?
We are over expectant. I think look. This is a player who is not given game time week in, week out. The last game I watched him was the first one, in my view, I think, where he played 90 minutes. And then, of course, I'm talking about the league and not this Europa where they've been using him. And if you look at the rate at which he's scoring, it's okay. He's been scoring. It won't take 3 weeks without him scoring. But the undoing for the coach is that, you see, sometimes he pairs him with Iheanacho, sometimes he uses another player. So it's like the understanding, the cohesion is just not working. If you look at Patson, he plays well when he's slightly in the wings, at position number 10. But at his club, they like putting him in the thick of things. So he can't sprint, He's someone who likes playing in space where he can express his strength. And one of those strengths is sprinting. Van Dijk confessed when he was interviewed. You remember, he said, I have played against very good front line. I had to cope with the pace of Patson. You can imagine, that's a high-class defender. Talking about Patson Daka. So I think the coach should start using him more regularly. That league is hard. It's not a simple league where you can be scoring week in, week out. Even the established ones like Lukaku go without scoring. Ronaldo, our own Ronaldo. It was only yesterday he scored after 5-6 games.
Yeah.
So that is expected to happen to Patson. But I think so far so good. His fan base is growing. We have white people lining up just to greet him. Are you not proud as a Zambian?
Pass. Talking about Patson Daka, I think I'll talk about his positioning has not been very, very good as a player. I'll talk about 3 components: speed, skill, and strength. Patson Daka has got 2 components. He's got speed, he's got strength, but the skill aspect, they need to work on his skill aspect. I would give you an example of Jacob Mlenga. Jacob Mlenga was taken into France from AfriSport because of 2 attributes as well: speed and strength, but he lacked skill. Renford Calaba, Mupa. Skill, yes. Speed, yes, but no strength. No strength. So for Patson Daka, his positioning, he keeps on chasing where the ball is. In the end, he gets a little bit worn out. Let him take heed from players like Inacho. In terms of positioning, that is where I think is missing it a little bit. By now, he should be scoring goals in the league. He scored, I think, a few in the cup games. He has scored 3, one against Liverpool, Manchester, and so forth. But he's supposed to do much better. In terms of game time after Vardy's injury, I think he's being given enough time, 60, 70 minutes, the entire game. But let him just relax and take it very, very easy in terms of positioning.
No, he's a brilliant player, Pius, and for Leicester, it's more to do with the future. They have a 3-year program for him, and he's only done a year. And so far, even at that 1 year, he's still showing promise. For them, it's a project, and trust me, once that project comes into flourish, like on the aspect of how to position himself and the skill aspect, that's why he's lacking, because he does a lot of donkey running that ends up nothing. But those free balls where he's able to sprint and run, there he's dangerous. So he needs to also be dangerous when there's no running involved. He's just with position and everything. So either he starts improving on his assists or starts dribbling through and score. So that's what he needs to really work on. But for me, he's still a good promise.
Fashion, he started over the weekend in the Scottish Cup and also scored for Rangers. They played 70 minutes.
It was a beautiful goal. I watched that.
Yeah.
And it's good the coach is beginning to have confidence in him as well.
Yes.
Because he lost favor when Steven Gerrard left. Huh?
Yes, I noticed that.
He was sidelined slightly.
Preferred others.
Yeah.
Then for DR Congo, lastly, Kabaso Chongo and Tandi Mwape started for TP Mazembe in the CAF Confederations Cup Group C. Home win over Otoho Deayo of Congo Brazzaville. And Chongo, he came off in the 48th minute, and Tandy played the whole game. Alderman, other news?
Well. I have a few. The first one, we hear Butcon has been hit with a transfer ban. This has always been happening to Lusaka Dynamos. It happened to Tungana, I think, one time over the goalkeeper. Yeah, now it's too bad for Buildcon because they were in the process of signing a very, very good winger, Chipioka Songa from Lusaka Dynamos, and midfielder Abel Akanyamuna from the Portuguese second side. These are the players they had wanted to bring in, but they've been hit. The ban, I think it's over lack of they have been failing to honor the contracts for the players, most by these professionals. Then the match talked about referees' arrears have been cleared, and no one is talking about it. You see? But when they're there, it's wow.
I hope the performance will also improve.
The performance of the refs.
Yeah, the fans has finally paid the referees. That's good. Of course, we're not saying it's good that they've paid them late. They should have paid them much earlier. But fans did explain that they had a lot of difficulties, more especially when COVID just hit us. And then there is Captain Katongo will be launching his book in March. Now, he has invited the minister as guest of honor. He has invited Karusha Walia as a keynote speaker. Now, there were a lot of questions because some people are saying that Faz had not been invited, but he has come out in the open to say he has actually invited Faz as well. So there are a lot of questions. In what capacity has he invited Karusha? And then why didn't he invite the former minister? If he's invited Karusha because he's the former first president, why didn't he invite the former minister who is still around? At that time it was Mr. Chishimba Kambwiri. Yeah, so you see, that's unfortunate because one would have thought this time around we are going into another AFCON qualifier, World Cup. One would have thought we are going to forge in one direction now. These small things, they may look small on the paper, but they bring a lot of division also, a lot of questions being asked. Yeah, so that's one of the issues. Of course, we want to congratulate FAS. They have continued holding high-level courses, Pius. Just last week, they held one, which was conducted by CAF officials. It was high-level course, and it attracted chief executive officers and other officials from the clubs. That's what we want. But there was one point which Nkana chief executive pointed out. The problem has been that there's been high rate of turnovers of officials in clubs. You do find that the FAS trains maybe 50 people from different clubs. The following year, almost all of them have lost their positions and their new ones, and they have to start afresh. So that's where the problem has been. You find there's no stability in the ranks of people managing the clubs. So you find these trainings have to be done over and over and over again, which is very true. It's only, I think, Zesco and of late in Ghana have been a bit stable, isn't it? Power have lost the whole of their executive, isn't it? That's an example I wanted to give.
Yeah.
So that's one area, but FAS has nothing to do with it because it's the management who choose when to bring in a new chairman and so on. So, but what we want to encourage FAS is to continue exposing our leaders in clubs to these high-level courses, because some of the decisions they make are very funny. We do condemn them here. Very, very strange decisions indeed. And The final one is, of course, I don't know if it's now we are going to talk about it, because that's where I'd put it. The infamous CAF prize money and so on. Yeah, I don't know if you're.
Yes, Ottoman, give us your what I'm sure you've got some data.
Yes, I do.
Tell us, since the question
I'll
has been
also
highly
give you
asked.
Yeah, I'll
asked.
give you the practice. Huh?
Mm.
When it is the national team which is involved, the senior national team, that is, senior men's national team, the government takes over the expenses. Now, other teams, it is the FA. They will look for money and take over the expenses. Now, when a national team is engaged in a very serious tournament like the AFCON, where our team was involved, normally the process starts with the FAS drawing a budget for the allowances, the traveling, lodging, and everything. They assume that the team will reach the final. You get a point? That's a budget they present to government. So government will look at it and approve. And if they are not so sure, they will say, what about this aspect? Then they sit down. And then when the government approves the budget, then they will release the cash. Are you getting me? It's not a check. They will release money in form of cash. And in the past, they used to have a ministry official traveling with the team to make sure that the money is accounted for well. I don't know now. Yeah, but in the past, a ministry official could do travel with the team. So when the money is released, the players are paid there and then when they are out there. When they win, they are paid, and the training allowances are paid. Now, that is the money which Nkausu and Katongo have said that one was fulfilled. I think we have to make it very, very clear.
Yeah, very true.
That one was fulfilled.
Was paid.
Because the government released enough money according to the budget.
And
which
from
was,
my research as well, that money to do anything to do with allowances, training allowances,
something, huh?
bonuses,
Yes.
everything was
it was
paid.
close to 300,000 total. Okay? Now, when the team won the AFCON,
The AFCON,
there was a prize money of $1.2 million.
the 1.5, eh?
It was 1.2.
1.2.
Yes, it was $1.2 million. Now, it is that money that the players are asking about, because they were promised that they would going to, as a way of rewarding them for the good work, apart from the allowances, they were going to be given part of that money. Somebody was saying it was $48 per.
49,000 each.
Yeah, 49,000 each.
Mm.
Okay, 49,000 each was going to be paid, apart from
What
the allowances,
the allowances
which,
and bonuses.
So they were supposed to be given 49,000 each. That was supposed to come from the FA. And then the government had made a pledge of building them houses.
Mm. I remember
Yes.
that, yes.
So now, 10 years down the line, that nothing has happened. People are just referring to the allowances, but the promised 48,000 per player was not paid. And the houses, not even one was built. This is what the players are talking about. By the way, I had time to talk to AFCON winners who have said we should not disclose their names.
Yes, I also reached out to one.
Yes.
That's where I got the exact same story.
So people talk too much. The problem is that when issues like this come, they take it either Kamanga way, Karusha. It's unfortunate. look at what is on the ground, get facts, and tell the people the truth. Council can just dream on, boom, we were not given. Then you start condemning him left, right, and center. We should just be saying
he was bold enough to actually come
who
out.
was supposed to do it. And there it is, his captain has confirmed that they were not paid and they were promised.
Yeah.
You see, so this is what has actually happened. So to answer this, to cut this story short, yes, the allowances that were due to the players were given. Remember, they were promised before going. Normally what happens is that the players are told what is in it for them. For a win, for a loss, for a draw, and what the training allowances. They tell them before they leave. That was paid. But after, they did not know that they were going to win. After winning, that's when they were told, out of what you have, we are going to get as prize money, we are going to give you so much. That's what was not paid. Who didn't pay them? Why they didn't pay them? We don't know. Yeah. These are the questions.
Yeah, I think for me it's sad that, especially like the corporate world, because I remember that it was a big event, the one at State House, and corporate entities were pledging they would do this, they would do that, they would do this,
Which I'm sure they actually
but
did.
nothing was done. Apart from, according to reports, and the pledges which were given to the players.
It's quite sad, Pius, and it's quite disappointing as well. And the sad part, like we say, like Elderman said, is that it's going to start pointing to Kamanga this, Kamanga that. You know, but that is the reality of the situation. Pledges were made, promises were made, and nothing was fulfilled. So as even the current government can still revisit it. It's a promise that was made by government. It's not like it was made by an individual. No, the government is still in place.
I remember promises of land.
Yeah.
And I think, even if I'm not mistaken,
the land
I think even it wasn't was land.
Kennedy,
even
when
in
after
Kitwe.
saving those penalties,
it was
one of the chiefs promised land, even
No, the chief fulfilled
and
them.
gave
Even
him
a cow.
I think that
So
was
may I-
fulfilled.
No, the chief fulfilled.
Until
after saving those penalties.
Until this came out, I thought people are they've everything was sorted out.
No, you see, because people thought because the allowances were duly paid,
And
they thought
you know why this thing looked good. The guys went all the way, so their allowances were actually hefty.
Yeah.
And what has made this issue to come back strongly, I think, is after Senegal's win and
How much they give
how much the players were given. So there is a comparison of some kind. But it's unfortunate if what was promised has not been fulfilled. Information flow, very, very important. I remember the late one MD for Zanaco, is it Musonda, who used to go in the dressing room for Zanaco. He would mention the allowances which, after winning, if he's very happy with their victory, he would just walk into the dressing room and he say double the amount. MD for Zanaco.
Yes.
And straight the cashier would pay them as said by the MD. That is the way it's supposed to be. If you promise, it's better to fulfill. When you mention, you see, the Senegalese national team, they've been given. And if Zambia won that trophy and certain monies have not been given, it's only prudent that they are given those dues.
So now the second question passed is that money, was it expended by government or it was FAS who spent that money? And how was it spent? Those are now the questions that are going to arise from this. This is going to be bigger than what we think. Yeah, the prize money. How was it spent? And who spent it? Was that money given to FAS or that money was given to government?
First and
It
foremost,
comes to first.
First
from
and
CAF.
foremost, there is no way that money can go to government. That money goes to FAS. There is no doubt about it.
First is the one,
And there is
and
no
it's paid
way.
in installments.
Yeah, and there is no way the government will tell FAS how to spend that money.
So now this is
And
getting
by the
interesting,
way, there are certain high-profile friendly games. Say Japan played Zambia.
even the
There's
Brazil game.
The Brazil game. There are huge
famous
amounts
Brazil
of
game.
money
That was-
given
yeah.
given to the association. At times when players query to say what about allowances, they are deemed to be
Indiscipline
indisciplined.
or being sent
Japan
by somebody.
versus Zambia. A big allowance was given to the FA. Brazil, Zambia. Some monies were given to the FA. But the movement of the money itself,
That's why there's need for transparency. You know, that is public money.
money itself.
When the money comes, you first make a budget and then let other stakeholders know how much has come and most importantly, how it is spent. You know, then such questions will not arise. At
The
all.
late Soli Pando at one point mentioned that we have been paid so much.
Yeah.
He was taken to task. Why did you disclose?
But how can you punish someone for disclosing public, money?
Soli Pando.
So this issue is actually bigger than what we think. There's a lot that is happening behind the scenes when it comes to accountability. So I hope we can have a report on that. So I'm interested in how much.
Well, I want to hear what Papias is going to zero in.
No, my interest first is how the money was spent. Whether Faz handed it over to government.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
sponsor-
that's
What I call
interesting.
Arthur,
In
I
agreement.
recall that MPs demanded to know how the money had been spent, and I'm very, very sure that the minister presented the financial report to Parliament. But whether it involved the amount which
In
had
question,
been given to, I don't know. But obviously, the then Minister of Sports, Mr. Shimbakambi, presented the report to Parliament after getting it from FAS.
Most recently, locally, Lusaka Dynamos won a trophy. And the money was shared nicely. And players were very happy. Lusaka Dynamos,
Yeah.
you remember at one
Yeah.
point. Under Whitson Nyirenda. They won a trophy. There was prize money there, and the players were paid handsomely.
And there's someone who was blasting players. They said they are down. They were paid their allowances. Now, do they think that prize money is for sharing? They were told.
They were promised.
Bwana, they were told. They're not down. They're not children. They knew what they were entitled in as far as the allowances were concerned. But apart from that, they were promised that when we get the prize money, we are going to give you so much.
Alderman Chatwe Takondwa writes from Facebook. He says, Alderman, what you are saying is totally different from the report of 28th June 2012. Then Chisanga Chamatete says the players are just broke. What are the conditions of winning bonus? Every employee has conditions. Our players are just broke, Naimwe. Then this was Bright Chotters enjoying the show from Chamboli. These are people who are watching on Facebook. Kawanga Joka Katebe says you're following. George Wanga as well. Peter Campbell. Then Samson Sidungwe also following. And this is a nice program. Then Mexon Lungu says even though they buy a luxury bus, it will show them that we have many trophies. Kalampa for life. Mexon Lungu from Chingola. Thank you, Mexon. Then Betty Njovu as well. It's good to see you guys live. But Zesco, watch out for Nkana this weekend. Okay. Yeah, that's some of the Facebook messages. For me, I'm just disappointed.
That's what I'm saying.
On the corporate side,
it's unfortunate
that pledges were not made.
Yeah.
Sorry, pledges were not fulfilled.
These players are broke. What?
No,
They are not.
I don't think there's anyone who's broke in that thing.
Kausu is still doing fine.
Yeah, all of them had
Chris has already built a house.
Houses probably.
They are doing very
all of
fine.
them had long careers after
Okay.
the tournament. There's no. I
But
think
the fact
Pali
that
Bonseke, Isaac Fena,
Yeah.
Joseph,
But the fact that they are trying to point out something which
nothing to do with being
was
broke.
not
They're very
fulfilled.
comfortable.
Yeah.
The fact
No,
that they're
no,
trying
it's
to
true.
point out something which was not fulfilled.
No, they've got a
Those-
right to. Those,
They have a right.
I mean, they can speak about it because those pledges were made.
Yes. Some remember, a pledge is a debt. That we must take into account.
But now, but on the other hand, a pledge, are you obliged to fulfill it?
Oh yes, I
A deal
mean
is a
morally.
deal.
Uh-huh.
Morally,
It's not signed, it's a verbal.
No, but it's a deal is a deal.
Uh-huh.
But you see, a deal is a deal. You know.
Uh-huh.
The Senegalese pledged and they fulfilled.
Yeah.
The Senegalese pledged and they
There are
fulfilled.
so many who have done that. And
So if
remember,
I
we
say-
have talked not only to one AFCON winner, we have done our research. If you're talking about the 2012 report, what is it saying? You have just said what we are saying is different. So tell us what was
Yes, since
what
you
was
know.
there. We want to know.
No, we need to be educated.
Because
as
we
well.
have talked to the horses themselves who drank the water. Eh?
We
At the first, you people were saying, no, why is it in Kauso alone? The captain has said something, and we have talked to 5 others today. You see, we can't come here and mislead the people. We do our research very, very well. The fact is, and you know, in my case, I interviewed them differently at different times.
Okay, let me read some of the things which came out of the report. This was by the sports minister at the time, Honorable Bakambwili. It says, Mr. Speaker, in regards to, in this regard, thereafter, 1.5 million rebased has been budgeted to pay the technical bench and the players. The sports minister, that was the sports minister then, each player will receive 48, at the time, 48,878,000, that's 49,000 kwacha rebased, once the players assemble. It is this 49,000 that the players have been pursuing in the background for a decade. Then it goes further to say, against this background, the 2012 AFCON winning players have decided to come out in the open because of this statement, which was this statement which was given at 1.5 million, but but what you had mentioned, the other allowances and bonuses were the 300,000
No, that
was paid.
It is this one now, the one which the ministers talked about, isn't it? The 49. It's the 49,000,
Yeah.
which is being talked about. That's what the
and
player.
it's a minimum
And now
amount, I think.
the fact that only 2 players have come out in the open does not mean the rest. You know how players are. Some just let's just leave it.
Yeah.
There is a
And-
report now. I'm happy you have read the correct one.
And it says there was the pledge to this pledge was made such that it could motivate the players so that we qualify for the 2014
Yes,
World Cup, which was coming up for Brazil. Anyway,
and you're talking about the money which was already there. You getting me?
It was already allocated
Yeah.
for that.
That
so
money
so now
was
the question is, how was it
there.
spent, since it was already meant for the players?
yeah. Okay, let's open up phone lines now. Okay, at least we can give it a good 10 minutes.
Got a Liverpool game to watch.
Good evening, caller.
Mwabombeni
Mkwine.
abani ba Joseph Kayombo ogena Lwangwa
But Joseph Kayombo Kodwangwa, please go ahead, but Joseph.
mkwai na atotira mkwai tefo kulanda palisho ndala mwamuna ifija tulanda ati ufufu ntungu nga bwafula ifintu fila lubana balilenga bakuleye okubalira ati kanti mwamona walikwete itimu ile kwati yasendi ya Africa Cup ngalirete yana nomba mba mlandu wakuba bepo obufi babulira panuma lelo twalagida yo tetukwete ba player so therefore fazi yalipo na baminisita bali abene abalipo bakesipa open bakalondolole okweba ifwe twabombere nifi nopo twapelere nifi kuli bapuleya tetubakwatire enkongole nangula natubakwatira okuba tituishiwe baminisita abalipo esho benga seddamu olubali nangu mwana wobikusukulu wa mulayo kwati nga wapasa number 1 nkakushtirako something elo ya pasa wakano kufikisha kumpera uli mwana kaposa kwa mano kusukulu so efo tumwena kanshi wa player tabale bombo kulingana nisho bengati ya bola kanshi kwali befi afisama mwamu na fiasa ichikwa lelo shalinga bola yao na ikamuzambia shankalipa sana pali bola ine ya fazi alipo hii oyo bafo kule chingila kese pobwele aba minister abene bachimba kambuji bakese pobwele bakese tilondolwela kwino ichalengo ukunkumye nyungu what education bantu abengi balafa okutungira fazi ile yalipo etwaishira tini bakuluko so
twatotera bakayombo 0212222877 or 0965000877. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Who am I speaking to?
You are speaking to Nyambe Kamito from Sorwell.
Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. I think this week I've learned the reason why we failed to kick after 2012 AFCON. Because I think the players were frustrated. No wonder we failed to win any game in 2013. And from that time up to date, every player who is going there is being told to say, whatever you are doing, my friend, you won't be given. They will give you, they will appreciate you when you are waiting. Immediately you bring something on their table, they will get the money and forget about you. And I think with this reason, the government I think the government should come in. As we have the new government should come in to clean up this mess. In this way, it will help even the players who are there, current players, to start concentrating, to have confidence to say, when we go and play, when we come back, we'll be paid what we need. Otherwise, it will go back into our problems like this. Then I just want to talk about the coaches, mostly Coach Perry Mutapa. I think he should respect the football and clubs. Yeah, I remember in England there was a time when Mourinho was even said, I'll stop talk to journalists or to talk every time after a game, because he was being banned every week in, week out. The reason, he was not mastering his way. Same applies to Perry Mutapa. I think I was watching it as we were talking here. I was talking at the Bola Yakumwesu or Bola Yakumwesu. The way he was talking, that's disrespecting your fellow team, your fellow, what fans itself, even the team. Because fans should come in and try to discipline him before he brings that behavior into the Premier League. That's not how a coach should behave. He needs to have that diplomacy and respect the opponent. That's what we need in football. Then lastly, I think I was very much disappointed with Zanaco, though they did very well. But I think what we need to be told, even the players, let's not get the system of what they always do, the Arabs, the system of dilly-dallying, coming, faking injuries, faking what. Because Zanaco, 5 minutes to go, that 6 minutes they added on. They started falling down, they started doing this, they playing tactics. That didn't help, and they were caught napping and make that penalty handball, which was not really good. You saw how they celebrated before they even kicked the ball. They celebrated as if they have won the cup. So I think next time Zanapo, even all the players should learn. Let's play the game until the last whistle. That will be the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Paya.
Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Mr. BM from Chambishi.
Mr. BM from Chambishi, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. First, in Alaba, kuri bola ya baza na ko ini ya from Kandpo amdala wa last caller. Otherwise, baza na ko ya bari kiafe bwino despite ukurusa kusarusa mada minutes like that. That's why Mr. Jose Mulanda ukubati kuru wina magemu wine nya magemu amala ya mafa mwenu kumukile mwa wina magemu Mama yeta tike kuba nesu kuba wina bana na iko support but they try by all means but can ba wina na penalty yo. So bina unibaza nako bene team na bene bakese wina pasande game yo ne bakabane team ya ku Egypt bakule ba wina na bene. Three games bakule ba wina. Bakule ba wina nga baliko qualify. That's why mule mwana bale fumira kwa team ga choko bakumira. Game bale tiabu no muri iki kutiabu na unibaza ko benya bale tiafe bwino. Green goes bale tiafe bwino. Zikaita ba Red Arrows bale tiafe bwino. Batukuba twala mu Cup Confederation na Champions League bakatele team. So otherwise bakule bakosa kotana matimu ya to represent Zambia. Ukuita ita futi kuri ba Red Arrows benyaba against Green goals. Seti mwambishe game na mwisho kwa bati muri yawe ku Green goals mwambishe tu defensive midfield. Tumwambishe jan do defending midfield. That's why mwale mwono kwa bati after wave kuri ba Green goals. Otherwise congratulations to Green goals. And kuita kuri bachambisha abana bo bachambisha na imwe twaitama sana division 1 imwe mkoje kwa maana otherwise ili mleba na kongola papa nani kale pasanje kurese na mabo tukayatenda mabo kuna ni kale kuna ku plan tu kumukesa mule tukachika pasata de mpoje kwa maana telefatike mkutata magenete ni bezi mule twa mweje ni bezi twalisambira masambiro again from education kutaka mtuweshe education mpoje kwa maana tulepa pulinya hivyo tuletamba obelele sajionse pano let me fly. All I'm then put question in Fires before I go. They will find out the concerning the Champions League away go Louis. I say bari funyapo na ngoko itina ni na vya because na kila ngoko fimo kwa bari na kwa magaza ti. Yeah. Knife mako. Knife mako idia.
Knife mako.
Okay, thank you so much. Otherwise I'm wishing Tambishi all the best against Concora. Also, this night I'm wishing Liverpool versus Inter Milan. I don't know this time is the game will start off or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Pius. Otherwise,
thank you, Babie.
To represent Mozambique.
Babie, mwaba sokaba chambishi venu. Tetule mwa. Division 1. Reached the complete. Good evening, caller. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Papa.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
I'm not Ben Pasoro Japo.
About Ben.
We know I'm shining quiet.
Hello.
Landeni ba Ben today on fwa.
Papa sindepo planda pona ne pari bazanako. Bazanako kipari twipa ishe. Era ina madeni tactics batemwa. Yadi sa twipa ishe bazanako. Bali panga mistake. Ile bola ngatwali wina, ngatwali fuko na point. Ere ya pangire na bakonkola mistake na ba Red Arrows. Kipa ikata apone fiabushi. Wele wana bakwati bindiara kwa fine. And two was attack equalize. So much people are very posta kwa mano. Not isha kura pona. Pantu ngava pona. Therefore they minike nkoroko. Any mistake wale panga badani. Especially ma teams ya kuzambia tatadani. Tabamone fita marab. Pantu ngava di marab spera ngava shira mbasho kura sabu. Nomba ba kipa baya pone fiabufi. Ni shishto kuide ya 2 minutes kubika mofiba ingira. Jadi ngaripa sana bapa. Ngombe win.
Totola. 0212222877. Good evening, caller.
Hello, Papa.
Na mucherwa no.
Papa kuri mfula kuno.
Oh, sorry.
Ndiginda achibakorero ngachiba ma abandon. Chawa mateko achibona bola lero.
Okay, landeni.
Chachi never access mwatanda pyachiba febwino sana. Ba Pius ishamona po coach. Itimu lya kwenda lya Rusolo atasha lifali atyawo alishabwino. Ili njaba kondema malifali. Ibara bako bati barusa. Ngamule mshankana versus Warriors. Coach waba Warriors ali ishanya Chris Kaunda lifali talishabwino. Futi Warriors versus Buffalo. Justin Chinyamafuta barusa kuri ba Warriors ali ishanya ati lifalita lishebwino. That's why na peri mutapa na era ali lishanya kuiva nani ati lifalita lishebwino. So ama losing team ama coach eba ilishanya not coaching amwawina nshamfwa pwala ndati hauna if twawina lifalita lishebwino tagwava mupa mboyo. Eba kuisa kuli bankana urutule ya kuzesco bakasokere timu namona zesco ali wounded kayalifu okukukansa nshuku Jesu weli ali balange kiranga muliro. So kutuba kama festival ni fila screen Lyson tole ku firi era kimwemwe ku 7 Jacob Ngurube ku 11 salamu 8 sate na bazo pala pamulu fo bakali pange timu malunga ali fe bwino pala mugo not bakay kateko ero bapaya si kulanda kuli bazo nga arati ama games yonsa yange top scorer nga mamwe ama games are missing na yengi yaba prison yaba sepe 1-0 ngomwali tete abwere kofi ya konkora ila tume 1-1 ngomwali tete abwere kofi ne ine aba chambeshta tereko futine aba inden 4 games ngali mcharangu 7 goals noma bazo problem mukusangwa mwiti muna mainjari shishikoko yafuma bora yapo alisebwino kusamfo next game wacha na injured na pusha bapayas
Toto Trava famous. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Mishek from Riverside.
Mishek from Riverside. Please go ahead.
Before kwanda go be pare bazesco. Ndio man, ndio bazesco kanchi ni problem with yaba po kanchi. Ni coach na players nanguni sikai. Kosta kwaba ero ba takwa wetimiri na kekamo ngata mwingi seko kamoni chapwa barani sepa. Ero ngabami bali na poi mwani chapwa tamwa jomborore. Ni bora ya mtango jani kanchi ya Pasesco bacha man. Atrandile kofie. Ero ndefu ndepta kweli ya kwana nkani match oyo wali wafunye top scorer last season alivale ilikanya na impia tabamupera sisi nkatabamupera na mchana hapo.
Thank you.
Bali mupera, that one we witnessed because there was a gala, there was an award giving ceremony. Yoena tete avepe.
Okay, let me get. Good evening, caller.
Hello, shamba yote man. Mabomba chai wote panyo.
Wino mshani mkwai.
Ni mkwai kechuzo Riverside.
Please go ahead, boss.
Ni mkwai. Achapo tunaanza kupangia Zambia ma Kenya.
Hello, no, landed boss.
Kama ni sawa Zambia ma Kenya. Zambia wena house. Kesi yetu barani ni za mwisho kuja shamba lake. Yenda na chini kala wake. Oba wake kimala wake. Ama hii alao pani alama wake sasa. Bomba pati lama mapromite kwanza kwa. Kama ni kisha yakala wake. Bomba mapromite ndio ya na mwana kusiku. Wanaweza kungoa kama kipi. Kupera na kuchichi. Mwana ni wakati. Kwa wakati ni kuchichi. Ndio mwana akashika kwa fiu kama ni ndio hii. Sasa kwa fiu na ndio hii. Kwa chini hapa ndio kwa hiyo na kai na kwa kasha. Abenya na mwana ni boss. Boss. Wanda na kai kwa kitu kwa katongo. Ni katongo. Wanda wao. Hai katongo ni ndio hapa. Then the corruption of that life. I mean, I don't shut up. Okay, it's a family of the people. Come with you. You have a mistake. What they don't know. What you know about the actually and then I got this boy and I stand up right. You know what? Hello?
Today on from kwai.
Yeah, I want to know what the next time is that. Bora ya juju huko fiaga but freedom of mind juju taibomba ulimu ile ya mwezi ya so freedom of mind huko fiaga kwa Thank you, okay.
Toto to the boss. Okay. All right. Okay, maybe let me get one more. Good evening, caller.
Hello, this is Wilson from the calling you from Majora Forest.
Wilson Musonda, please go ahead.
I want also to contribute with my power dynamo. Are you getting me?
Loud and clear. Please go ahead, boss.
Yes, me, I also like power, like you, Pius. You know what, Kafio Celtic is very difficult to go and defeat at his home.
Yes,
That's
please.
why our team, as for now, is looking good, like in short. So, we are going to do better until these 3 games. We are going to do better. It's not easy to go and beat Kafio Celtic at his home. That team is very difficult to go and beat at his home. But our team is doing better. So in game we have to understand.
Yes, boss. Thank
you very much.
Thank you. All right, so let's move on, gentlemen. We still got much more to talk about. Zambia 0, Namibia 0. In the women, they are calling it the WAFCON, the women's AFCON. Other results on the continent: Burundi 6, Djibouti 1, Guinea-Bissau 0, Burkina Faso 4, Senegal 1, Mali 0. Then other games will be played tomorrow: Togo versus Gabon, Zimbabwe versus Botswana, South Africa versus Algeria, Tunisia versus Equatorial Guinea, and Cameroon versus Gambia, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire. Okay. So you watched it, Alderman. You said you watched the whole game.
Yeah, I watched the whole game.
Do we have a chance to beat Namibia?
We do, but let me tell you, Namibia are not a pushover. They are a very, very good side. I did some research. How has Namibia reached this level? Only to find, Pius, that most of their players play in South Africa. They have 2 playing in Europe. One arrived actually a day before we played. So they had a game plan to frustrate Zambia because they knew that they had no chance playing away.
Yes.
So they are going to be happy with a draw, and you could see that was their game plan. They used the 5-4-1 formation. They had only one striker who was, when they were doing counter-attack, who was pushing our defenders. Their game plan worked very well. They frustrated us. We lacked creativity. Barbara Banda was needed. You know, the Rachel Nachula. This game needed Rachel, Barbara, and the other professional, because
Grace.
I think
and Grace. No, Grace was there.
Grace
He was alone. Grace was alone and was isolated. Now, the only good thing is that the return match will be played in South Africa, which will be considered to be neutral. It won't be in Windhoek in Namibia. Zambia can still go through, but they will have to work very hard, because Zambia was actually lucky. Namibia, and I'm talking as an analyst. You have to be objective.
Analyst stroke referee.
Yes, analyst stroke referee. I'm happy. But Namibia were denied a clear penalty.
Okay.
All right. Very, very. And when it happened, they just said, oof, we are gone. Because it was late in the second half. I think it was 15 minutes to go. But the referee decided otherwise. That was not the only decision. There are some incidences where the referee should have produced a yellow. She didn't. So in short, the referee wasn't so competent. Yeah, that's what saved
Saved by the referee.
What actually happened was that the lone striker, and she's very dangerous actually. Even when the Zambia player, they should watch her. She out-sprinted our defenders and was face to face with Hazel Nali, our goalkeeper. And Hazel was beaten, and she just went for her legs. And to me, that was a clear penalty. And even the one who was
If you were the one refereeing, you would have given.
straight.
Mhm.
That's where, if you don't give it, the match commissioner will just say, Bwana, we are packing you. If you can't give that one, which penalty will you give? Yeah, so Zambia still has a chance, but the final third was blunt. They kept pumping high balls. This is not the Zambia we know. The Zambia which played at Olympics, they came with a good brand of football where they build up from the back, they penetrate midfield, and then go into the final third. We didn't see that. We saw high balls being pumped, and that played to the advantage of the Namibians, who were bigger and taller. We could be shocked if we're not going to prepare well. This is not a pushover side. They had their chances as well. You know, they can change the formation and be attack-minded in South Africa. We can be in trouble. Yeah.
I've got one observation. Zambia
Yes.
played a friendly game against South Africa not too long ago, and their prized striker got injured in a friendly game, and they were preparing for the Namibia game. I think the coach gambled a little bit in Bruce Mwape to play full throttle for Grace, for Barbara. They should have actually given a bit of rest in readiness for this Namibia game, which is more important than the friendly. They gambled a little bit, and it backfired.
And
in
she was
terms
really
of
missed.
She was really missed in terms of the tactical approach. Your best player, not in the actual game, but was available for a friendly game and got injured.
Okay. All right. Moving to African football.
I wanted to talk about the opponents that Zanaco will be facing.
Yes.
I don't know, we have reached there.
Yes, that's where we are.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pyramids.
Pyramids. Zanaco will be hosting Pyramids on Sunday, and having lost, obviously, they're expected to rebound and collect maximum points. But I'm afraid I watched the game which Pyramids played. They know how to keep the ball. Pyramids know how to keep the ball because I think out of all the games that were played, they were the best in terms of keeping the ball. They completed 625 passes. So they can keep the ball away from you. So Zanaco will have to know what approach are we going to do to counter this strength which these people, because they can be playing amongst themselves like in Barcelona. You get the point? And for most of the time, you'll be chasing shadows.
Yeah.
So if I was a Zanaco coach, I would tell my boys, let's play it more direct and more. Let's put the ball into their dangerous areas as quickly as possible. Within 2 touches, we take the ball there. You know, the Zanaco will have to play more direct and quick if they are to counter, because Pyramids will really frustrate them. They will keep the ball away from Zanaco. That's one strength I saw from that team. It's a very cohesive side. They may not be so lethal, but definitely they'll keep the ball away from you. Yeah.
So Zanaco is the only team that has not scored a goal in their group, because Pyramids topped the group on 3 points. CS Faxien also on 3 points. Ali Tripoli, because they scored against Pyramids, so they are number 3, and Zanaco have not scored a goal, so they are bottom, though they both have negative goal difference with Ali Tripoli. So it just comes down to Bachali, the simple Zanaco must win their home games, isn't it?
Yes, precisely.
How do they beat Pyramids?
Pyramids, I looked at Siame in goal for Zanaco, looked at Moses Piri up front there as a lone striker, I think the coach, Kelvin Kind, should actually change the tactical formation. Defensively, they're not too bad, but it's just up front where Moses Piri is. They should change the formation. Otherwise, they are coming up against a formidable side in Pyramids. And personally, I would say, should Zanaco fumble on Sunday, it will be curtains closed in terms of progression in this tournament, because these are experienced sides. The CS Faxen they played against, I think
That was not good.
it's no longer a force.
The team they lost against is the weakest in that.
The weakest. Pyramids, they have got the financial muscle. They have invested in that team. So for Zanaco, right from the word go, they should try and push more players up front and help out Moses Piri.
Let's jump to UEFA Champions League tonight. Yesterday we had two games: Sporting Lisbon 0, Man City 5, PSG 1, Real Madrid 0. Arthur, Real Madrid, because and I thought about it because someone had asked about the away goals rule. The away goals rule has been scrapped.
Yes.
So, don't you think it might
But it has been scrapped for UEFA only. I think
for UEFA? Yes.
Yeah, we should
for
be
UEFA,
very categorical.
UEFA only.
Because they'll be thinking CAF and the others.
CAF, it's still there.
It's still there. It's only UEFA.
Don't you think that Real Madrid went there to force a draw?
That's
So that because so that
the first 20 minutes they were playing only in the Madrid half.
So that they can
But I still
probably
feel Madrid
take a fair result in front of their home team. Because if the away goal rule was there, maybe they would have tried to score with intent.
It was just a difficult game for them. But personally and critically thinking, Madrid, I feel, was a better side.
You think?
Yes.
No shot on goal?
No, that's
3 attempts only.
Listen, pass.
Compared to 19.
Was about tactics, huh?
Eh.
Their tactical approach to the game was on point. They only pushed when they needed to, and they quickly closed. That's why that one goal scored against them was extremely devastating, because they did their best to stop that.
But
because
if you look at you can't play an open game against the PSG. You can't. But
it's the most dangerous thing you can
but
ever
Real
do.
Madrid would have done. Real Madrid, we have known for years, would have done that.
But the only disappointing, like what Oderman is saying,
Oderman
is saying, the only disappointing part is that the Real Madrid, what we know, plays an open game, and I think had they played more open, they could have even scored. I think for me, critically speaking, I still feel Madrid was a better side on the day.
On the day?
Yeah.
And your team today, Bachali, goes to Milan to face Inter Milan. What are the chances?
Chances very bright. And the team that will take their chances that will come their way will win. Liverpool, injury-free. Inter Milan, they lost their league match, and they were checked by is it AC who's on top now. So today's game, should Klopp come up with a brilliant lineup, I think Inter Milan will actually will find it very, very hard to beat Liverpool. Liverpool looks very, very solid. I just hope that he picks the right players. Let him not fear to substitute Mane. Let him not fear to substitute Salah. Let him look at whatever they will throw at them and begin to make a few difficult match. It is. Look at how Sporting Lisbon were taken to the cleaners yesterday. There was of course a thin line in that game.
You're actually wondering how Sporting found themselves in the knockout,
But the Inter Milan Liverpool game, I can see Liverpool getting a win from that game.
Oderman, Salzburg hosting Bayern Munich today. Salzburg, everybody's asking about their replacement for Patson Daka, Karim Adeyemi.
Yeah, that
Rumors are that he might end up at Borussia Dortmund. Do you think he can steer them against a very expensive buy side?
Certainly not. Certainly not. The pedigree between the two teams is just very, very different. Bayern Munich will definitely get it.
Arthur, Chelsea will be hosting Lille next week, Tuesday. Your thoughts?
Chelsea, a slight letdown lately, Pius. They're not the same Chelsea that I thought they had depth.
They have just won the Club World Cup.
Pius, if you look at the form that Chelsea had, they're supposed to be way on top of the league. The kind of form they started displaying after changing coaches, I think they were really, really on fire. To actually see them even in third position, just behind Liverpool, even 2 games in hand, is quite disappointing.
Now they're 16 points behind Man City.
Yeah, that's very serious. That's very, very serious. If you look at the form that they had, actually people were thinking they'll be the team to win the league. Man City just took advantage because Chelsea had more. The vigor, the drive pass was so much. 2 injuries and they're set off. They're quite disappointing. I don't have so much confidence in them anymore. We'll see what happens. They may just prove. I see Man City going on the way. That 5-0 nil, that's 5-0. It's not a fluke pass. It's not a fluke. That's declaration of intent.
But Charlie, Villarreal next week Tuesday as well will host Juventus.
Juventus of late, I think they have added some quality players to their ranks.
Yes,
and
definitely.
they seem to be back on track. Villarreal, the yellow machine, is not firing on all cylinders. They have lost quite a few key players. I see Juventus taking that one.
Juventus probably taking that one. Okay. And this weekend, very quickly, Otherman, Man City, who have just come off a big 5-0 win in the Champions League, will host Tottenham Hotspur, 19:30 Saturday.
Well. Tottenham, I don't think can give resistance to that scoring machine. I'm afraid it's Man City all the way.
Man City all the way. And Liverpool, Wolves, Arthur, Wolves will be hosting Leicester. And this is basically, we're talking number 6 and number 7 and Leicester, who have dropped to number 11, who can possibly come into the top 10.
I see Leicester losing their coach.
You see Leicester losing their coach?
I see, yeah. He's got a problem with defending his lead. He's lost focus. Yeah, he's really lost focus. Because it's disappointing. I think that's one that technically they are losing it, Leicester. Because if you look at how many goals they're conceding and how easily they are conceding as well. So it's either he works on his defense or to get him fired. That's how bad football is.
But Charlie, Leeds hosting Manchester United on Sunday.
A Leeds side started with a lot of promise. A few injuries to Phillips, Rafinha. He has been a lone player for them. Manchester United, after that win against Brighton, I think they have been told to improve in terms of the attitude by many soccer pundits. Manchester United have an edge over Leeds United. Leeds, if not careful, can even be relegated.
Okay. So I think, gentlemen, I think one more here. Valencia hosting Barcelona this coming weekend. Oderman, your thoughts?
Rejuvenated Barcelona. Valencia, no chance again.
Valencia, no chance?
That is my take.
Okay. All right. I think I think that's the biggest game in Spain this weekend. The one to look out for. The other Champions League matches we shall analyze next week, Wednesday, before they are played. like Benfica versus Ajax and Atletico Madrid versus Manchester United.
Just a quick one pass as we move towards the dying minutes. Lionel Messi has been missing penalty after penalty in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Last
And,
night.
he should have even costed PSG in terms of that penalty miss. The goalkeeper read it very well, but for Messi, should have allowed a different player to take that penalty. He was almost costing PSG.
Oh yes. But Charlie, are you in agreement with Nigeria? They've decided to keep Eguaven, though he was acting as coach in the upcoming qualifier against Ghana.
They have done well because the games, I think, are coming up next month. To bring in a different new tactician, I think, will be Sisaido. They are coming up against Ghana. These two countries know each other very, very well. They have done well to maintain for that assignment. It's a huge assignment. It's a World Cup, by the way, away from the Nations Cup. Now they are trying to get to the bigger stage and possibly put behind that embarrassment they suffered in terms of being knocked out from the Nations Cup.
They didn't need to get rid of him. Nigeria played well. Only that football is sometimes unfortunate. So
Yes.
You can be unlucky. Otherwise, that's why they've kept him. In terms of playing, they accounted for themselves.
Ademelo Lukman, Patson Daka's teammate, he's been given a go-ahead to play for Nigeria by FIFA.
He has made a good decision because he has been around in England. He has not been called, and his decision, I think, is spot on.
Yes.
Let him join Nigeria.
No, he did represent England at one time at under 19 and
Under
under
19.
21.
Yeah.
But good
He's a good
decision for
player.
him.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Because for England, he's not going to get in
He
the
won't
squad.
get the chance. He won't get the chance. So it's a wise decision, actually.
It is.
Yeah. All right. I think we can leave it here, gentlemen. Thank you for coming. Thank you for making time. All those who texted, we failed to read. Apologies. Next week we'll try and do better phone calls. Thank you for those who managed to call us in the studio. So we can sign off here, gentlemen.
Bola.
Bola.
Nizigoli.
Bola.
Ibaba.
Konko.
Shani.